Well, now people can actually hear me when I'm saying something. One of my gaming images things was just huge and on there, and the capture device is gone again. There we go. I can point at. Buddy there? Alright.
No.
Yes. Yes, technology.
Whee!
It is such a wonderful pain.
Look at me.
No,
D&D time, everybody! Woo!
No, we only have those Kirkland brand ones.
It has been a while since we've had a live D&D game. Oh, I should probably turn on my lights. But yes, it is D&D time this evening with the Lost Causes here. For those of you who are YouTube watchers that have not followed the channel previously, we hold on Thursday nights, hopefully, when we can get everybody together, a D&D campaign. And that consists of... You know, can I go to the encounter map and play with their little minis? Ah, it's still in the boat encounter. We have... Start with this one right here, the mini that I've been too lazy to change. That is Darkness. Say hello, Darkness. All right. This next big one here. A man who should need no introduction, but some of you guys don't know him yet. This is Rurik. We have this tiny one right here, which is Scratch. He is not currently appearing in this adventure. Let's get rid of that door right there. We have, because this was my first 5th Ed D&D campaign of all time, I made my own character. This is my little custom image for Kundrik. Boom. And so, hi, that's me. I'm Kundrik. This dragon image is what we use for, oh my gosh, having a blonde moment.
Moment?
Whole life.
What's your character's name?
Crack.
Craig,
Crack.
thank you. I'm like, it's not crack. My brain is only thinking crack.
Wow, man. Is there a problem that you need to like tell us about?
Intervention.
Apparently, crack is all I got out of my mind. And these little barbarians were used for Vaughn, who should be returning, but as a new PC. So it's gonna go back to a generic barbar. We also have. Where is the halfling?
It's in the bottom.
Ah, it's behind my... No, it's the regular halfling, not the custom one. Well, for right now, until I can find out where the heck I put the custom one. That small child is Solomon.
That is no small child.
That is a halfling. He's got a beard. The custom image actually has a little bit of a beard.
Your poor brother is dying.
Yay, dying.
He is indeed.
No.
And that is the House Bears character, for those of you. But yeah, we have a
Maybe.
D&D game that takes place on my D&D world. This is the second campaign that we've transmitted live. And it originally started off as a situation so we could get through freaking COVID. So yeah, that's a thing. As a note, I may not be as completely interactive with the comments that happen unless they happen at a convenient enough time that I can comment. Get away from the battle screen and back to the DMing screen here.
No.
And if he has to moderate because you're being bad, I will find you and I will stab you with a toothpick.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I mean, I'll always.
Just don't be a mark.
This toothpick.
Toothpick. Anywho, but yeah, that's kind of the base idea. Solomon is a treasure hunter / rogue character.
I am an archaeologist.
Yes, he's an archaeologist.
He's a grave digger. Grave robber. He's a grave robber, guys.
No, that's Kundrik. Kundrik is the grave robber, because he's the necromancer.
We just work really well together.
He's just a healer with bad
It's
timing.
really a length of time thing. The archaeologist is plagued with dead things that have been dead for so long, they're not really going to come back. or they're insubstantial at this point, or already an undead. Kundrik makes new ones. You know, he's
Yeah.
just a really late healer.
It's really awkward when you're arguing with the previous owner of the object because he's a lich.
And as a note, just like he's a rogue, but he's an archaeologist. Kundrik is actually, he's a wizard, but he prides himself on being a healer of all things. So how's that for some confusion?
He's got a really good skill with needles.
We have our resident darkness is a... Okay, also, Solomon's a halfling. Kundrik is a dwarf. Darkness is a tabaxi with a white and black pattern.
She is a snow leopard tabaxi, yes.
Snow leopard tabaxi, yes. And a druid. Well, failed druid,
Rawr.
but that's beside the point.
No, she's a chaos
It's
gremlin.
moose
Let it
time.
be
It's either
true.
moose and time, or it's polar bear time, or it's platypus time.
But it's like in Star Wars where you have the failed Jedi that's actually a Jedi that just isn't really... Yeah, she's like the failed druid in that particular case. She failed her training, then went adventuring. So, failed druid. No response to that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just
Well, it's
agreement.
She got kicked out of druid school and started, you know what, I'm going to be a pirate for a little bit. And then she was like, I want more adventure on land because I hate water.
Being a pirate is a bad idea when you hate water. Dwarfs will always agree with
Kluger
that.
just failed 8 years of medical school, but he refuses to quit.
No, he didn't finish because his medical school got blendered.
I didn't fail 8 years of medical school to just lose him now.
Rurik is our duelist barbarian. Is that a good way of describing it?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I do a lot of duelist things.
You said
jumping
doo-doo.
over people, getting into the fray.
No, as in you get into duels.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Including with things that kill him. Crag is our
he's
resident
also-
dragonborn ranger.
He also has the most phobias out of any character I've ever seen.
I don't know, that one guy.
Who?
The guy, friend from work that I kick...
I actually came up with a real tangible thematic reason for why Rurik is afraid of everything, but I'm not gonna say why.
we might get to figure it out in
don't
gameplay.
forget, Crag is resident mom.
Yeah, resident mom. That's literally where I was about to say.
Craig is resident alien.
No.
Arguing with,
Margie's mom?
Resident evil.
arguing with the octopus because, reasons.
Vaughn was
Well-
our digging barbarian, but sadly,
I don't
that
know
flavor
how
is
to
going to be
tell you
gone.
this,
I
but
look
if you're
forward
wrong,
to his
you're
new
wrong.
character when he gets a chance to play. It will be utterly fantastic. I am looking forward to it because he's actually making a character for the purposes of making a character, not getting handed a character for the purposes of, I'm going to do random crap because it's fun.
Vaughn was a dwarf-shaped mole, and you know it.
Dwarf-shaped mole, I accept that. Scratch, sir, not appearing in this particular episode. He says he should be back sometime later in the month. Might not be able to stay the whole night when he does, but we're going to have our Scratch back, and at least on Discord, if nothing else. And he is our amnesiatic cleric. It's bad when you can't remember the god you worship. Anywho,
But that works to his benefit.
so a little bit of game has transpired since the last transmission, for those who were tuning in before. Originally, the last thing anybody saw was a massive epic fight on a boat. Endings happening. Basically, the group transported the rest of the way to the capital of the Western, or the racist empire that they were running around in. And finally got a payout for the job. That they, the very first mission they did, that they were promised money and then they couldn't get. But currently the group is in the idyllic capital of the Western Empire, which ironically is not one of the 7 kingdoms that make up the empire. It's its own personal entity just for the purposes of ruling over said empire. It's surrounded by slave cities that help keep this particular city in its fine function.
Yes. Need to buy more slaves.
It's literally a city on a basically, you're guessing it's probably originally a spire of rock or some reason why it's there, but the entire thing is elevated. The lowest levels are the poorest, the highest levels are the really rich folks and the castles and whatnot. But where we left off, the group has decided to stay there for the evening, if I remember correctly, as he offered you an apartment.
Yes.
Am I remembering that incorrectly?
No, we stayed there.
And it is morning. So with that, it's time for some D&D! Yeah! Alright. Well, it's morning. You guys awake to the sound of rain on the various windows in the little apartment that you've been given in this the big fancy mansion that you're staying in. Words I cannot say sometimes. Your reward is still sitting on the pallets down in the main hall, awaiting to be gathered. In its current trade brick form. And with that, you guys are in this beacon of civilization. Alright.
I go frolicking in the rain.
Well, there goes Crack. Kundrik turns to the party. Alright. So, I'm thinking we're in a big city that is gonna have libraries. So, I want to do some research on stuff. And I think I'm going to be able to get us home quicker if you want.
Works for me.
Sounds good.
I don't know how long all this research is going to take. But one of the first things I got to do is find a place here that has a teleportation circle so I can study it so I can come back. I'm sure they have one somewhere. This place is... I didn't know cities this large existed. So we probably have some time to kill if you guys are okay with waiting. I mean, I can just research the spell and then focus on getting us all out of here.
No, man, we can chill.
Yeah, we got time. I mean, I'm pretty sure the dragon and tentacle monsters will be there before we get there anyway.
I think the guy said the tentacle monsters were already there. The dragons just aren't back yet.
Oh, the dragons, they won't be back.
But
Don't
yeah.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Also, let's go divvy up that money, because I know we all have things to do with it. And I'm probably going to need to pay for some inks and paper and ingredients and
No, that's right.
stuff.
So, Scott, something you missed in the last game. Virtually, the area near Last Stand is being invaded by... Fuck, what are they called?
Mind flares.
What are they saying?
It's
Yeah,
this-
mind flares. And the dragons are coming to investigate it again. So we
Yeah.
have dragons and mind flares.
It's, long story short, the guy that's hiring you that may have clandestine attachments to previous intelligence organizations that existed in times past. Yeah, that's what you guys are being paid the retainer for, to be agents of his.
Okay.
Agents is the wrong term. Your
So
assets.
we're going to assist the mind flayers?
No. The seventh house, as he calls them, the only real group of mind flayers left on the planet, is the rest left. They're ones that generally don't implant themselves into people, and they become giant madworms. But they will occasionally do the implanting of people for purposes of, well, whatever their insane mutterings are. And their confused moral system. Anyway, but yeah, he has witnessed that they have already moved. They may not all be there, because it's an entire thing. Apparently they live under the mountains. Kundrik's entire town got destroyed back in the day, and might be one of the terrible things in the deep. That may have moved towards killing off those dwarven colonies whenever they do disappear. But yeah, and because of their influence, he already knows the dragons are going to come back in. But that's partially because someone's paranoia was lit up an excuse. So basically, when Solomon told the Black Dragon that there might be more going on, and the dragon's like, we have to leave, when that report reached the King of Tyrants, the Red Dragon that is technically the ruler of all dragonkind in Dragonward, he took the report seriously, and then he heard reports of the 7th house moving into the area. So dragons are definitely going to be coming back.
Okay, so we gotta clean the mess up and tell the dragons, fuck off, we already did it.
All he said is
I like your style.
it doesn't look like they're going to be sending dwarven armies and whatnot this time. It's actual literal dragons are going to be sent for the purposes of investigation.
Yeah, we gotta get there first.
Have we actually ever killed a dragon in one of your games?
Nope.
Yes, the Black Dragon at the end of the last campaign.
Burden Death was green, and I don't think we killed him.
No, you didn't kill him.
Not Burden Death. Was it? No, it was a Black Dragon. It was at the end of the campaign. Kelvin Talark had a Black Dragon with him. And I was like, oh, fuck.
No, you fucked off. You fucked off.
I'm going to have to go back to the streams because I don't actually remember that fight as well as I thought I would have.
That fight was pretty chaotic.
And I don't think you killed... It's possible you ended up killing it, but I know the NPC you're talking about suddenly. I don't remember it being at the fight, but it may have been. But it's more likely to have run away before then. I'd have to double check. Anywho. Final fights regardless. In the middle of a normal campaign, no. The group has generally only fought a couple dragons. Jaina came close to, getting into a fight with a bunch of them.
Well, Jaina did fight wormlings.
Yeah.
But those don't count. They're not real dragons.
But I think the actual dragon that got wounded got killed by the smarter white dragon. Anywho. Beside the
There's only
point.
one white dragon I ever really worried about in your game.
But yeah. So, let's assume you
He's
guys
smarter than you.
officially divvy the money.
Yes.
He's smarter than all of us.
No.
Well, not your horse.
You might
For
want to
sure.
take a trip down to one of the caravan offices to get exchanged for actual gold coin if you're planning on spending any of the money. I know with mine, I'm converting it out and then converting it back in once I figure out the exact gold pieces that Kundrik's going to be spending during his shopping.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the exact same thing.
Okay. So, when everything gets set up and you guys are getting ready to leave, the butler of the house shows up in all of his emaciated glory. And,
What did you do to him?
I didn't do nothing to him.
oh, he's just ancient, old-looking, and emaciated.
The fuck did you do to him?
He's like a 75th level high school principal.
High school principal. Should we keep the apartment ready for you, or are you going to be finding lodgings in town?
Yes, please. Thank you.
That was
I would
an
like to point out
either
it was an
question.
or question, but I'm assuming you mean yes, keep the apartments open.
Yes, he
Um,
does.
I'll see how long my lord wishes to keep that open for you. I'm sure at least one more day wouldn't be an inconvenience. I'll ask will this be an elongated stay?
No.
Maybe?
No.
Maybe?
Well then.
We are on a race against dragons. No.
Kundrak's like, yeah, it'll be a lot faster for me to spend the time to research the spell than for us to walk back.
Yeah, so shoosh.
Fine.
Although we should still go north a little bit and check out the
Of course.
statues. But yeah, anyway, with that, the butler buttles off.
What did you do to him?
I didn't do nothing to him. He's just old.
Humans don't age like that, do they?
Yes. Yes,
Humans
they do.
see Solomon's youthful vigor, and it just steals the youth right out of them.
You're right. I walked up to him and in a loud and exasperated voice said the following phrase, "I'm bored," and it aged him instantly as I watch you turn white.
I could feel that.
All right, so you guys
Holy
go down to the
crap.
caravan office again.
I need a cigar and some bourbon.
All right, George Burns. Most of our viewers probably don't even know who he is.
No.
Strangely enough,
Sadly.
as you guys get close to the office, the earth elemental that was previously behind the desk is actually outside with a lady there. And he kind of glides up, like he's not stomping around, he just kind of slides around on the earth itself, seeming to take up the street into his body as he moves.
I mean, they do have Earth Glide.
And it just holds out its hands next to the cart, knowing that you guys have some stuff to exchange.
Great. Well, I throw a whole lot of gold bars in.
Yeah, just give him the pallets.
Wouldn't be seeing us again, huh?
Oh, God.
Because we'll be happy to exchange this for you.
Thank you.
It was sent that you may be showing up today. And it straight up glides into kind of the like the larger doors, cargo kind of doors where the wagons come in and out.
I ride the pallet.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I flop down on it.
Get off of there.
What?
But a little bit later, a couple employees come out, each with sacks of coins. The sacks are complimentary.
I was expecting a check.
Well, you
I
need it
slap
converted.
him.
Okay,
Grab the
are you
bag,
getting
sling
it
him
all?
over
Okay,
shoulder.
some people wanted to have money to spend.
Oh no, you're fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no, they're bringing out coins. If you wish to exchange it back to a check, you need to request it to be a check.
All right, I exchange it back for a check.
Okay. They then take it back and then come out with a check.
I take his check. I stuff him in my pocket, leaving the check on the ground.
It is a 5 gold piece fee to get the check itself.
I pay it out of my pocket.
That's fine.
I somehow reverse pickpocket you, so now you're in my bag.
How am I inside my own pocket?
Well,
It's like a reverse belly button.
Kundrik, when he gets his money, says that he's off to go. First off, to go see if he can find a couple locations that might have a teleportation circle.
Kundrik,
Yeah.
I assume the people that you were going to talk to would be those who are very well versed in magical things, yes?
It is likely. Probably. I mean, I'm actually going to go check temples first, because I understand this place has big temples to the religion, and they're definitely the kind of places that would try to have a circle ready for things to come and go.
That's fair.
Although it might not be as bad as the Eastern Empire, where everything is centralized, I'm pretty sure they have something here. After that, I might see if there's any kind of organizations for mages, or at least well-reputationed mages that I can bother.
Okay. I might go with you. I was interested in seeing if anybody could help me figure out what the Ghost Fire Blade is. It's not Ghost Fire, it's just the Ghost Blade. I don't know why I keep calling it that.
Because you want it to burst into ghostly fire?
No,
That would
because
be cool.
Ghost Fire Blade is an actual weapon in Magic the Gathering.
Ah, gotcha.
Kundrik, you're gonna work on a weapon like that for me. Full of all kinds of necromantic curses.
We'll see about that in the future. Yeah, Rick. I don't mind if you come along. I mean, I'm expecting to have to whip out this we are agents of dude like every 30 seconds to make sure I'm not, beaten down for being a non-human here, but if you around
I
at
guess
least.
that would be, that would be helpful then.
All right.
Motherfucker's trying to steal my pants.
I'm trying to be like Rocky.
There's only one Rocky, and he is the thief of pants.
I also have another odd point about our being here. Do we plan on collectively ever coming back here or not?
What?
Do we ever plan on collectively possibly coming back here or not?
I don't ever collectively plan on going anywhere in particular.
I would not.
Not
I
unless
would
we
not
have
say
to
it's.
come back for whatever reason.
I would not say it's an impossibility.
To be fair, this is the most palatable city we've been to down here.
I wouldn't say I wanted to make a home base here.
Yeah, the people of the city are pretty much protected from the harsh realities of their own empire outside of it. But they need to be seen as the jewel of civility. Then again, it's the same city that has a random vampire problem, so... The concept of having so many vampires in a city that you actually have, like, people like asking, oh, you're here to kill the vampires? Just seems silly.
Can't we all just roast some garlic?
Team Dragon, Squirrel. Well, I thought it was Team Babis. Hi, Rosalie. I hate this song because it just keeps getting louder and louder and louder and louder. Okay. For some reason, that didn't pop up on the chat here. Maybe because chat filter, I forgot to put it on all messages. Look at that. Now I can see it. Sorry, Rosalie.
I'm stealing this.
That's up to you and him.
I will fuck you up and take it.
The lid doesn't fit.
I'm not taking that.
No, you're taking it.
Yes, I am taking it, just because it'll piss Juan off.
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Because I'm filling it with
Anywho.
all of his favorite little doodads.
But, back to the point. We could look
Those
about
Warhammer
trying to
figures.
find a place that we could have a base here in some fashion. Not necessarily saying buy a home, but see if there's any organizations that, I don't know, let us rent out an area. From the sounds of it, I don't know how long we're going to have free access to that apartment.
One day tops.
Don't you worry about it.
I don't think we should stay any longer than that anyway.
Just bringing up the possibility. But yeah, Rourke, let's go. We'll meet again at some point today.
Okay.
And Gundrik trundles on. At his very slow walking speed. How about the rest of y'all?
Well, we're in a big city and we have a lot of money. You might
are indeed in a big city and have a lot of money.
Might spend some of it.
You're gonna go shopping?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. That part makes that pretty easy. Do you have a shopping list ready?
I do.
Well, put a pin in that. Solomon, what are you doing?
I'm going to a weapon shop.
So it's safe to say I can at least put you guys into a group that you're going shopping. And you're not really here. Okay. So, I know the thing you're buying first off, hand crossbow. Yeah, there's a variety of hand crossbows available. Even magic ones if you so desire, although those are much rarer.
Crossbows that shoot actual hands.
Not that magical.
Nope, just a regular little hand crossbow.
Alright.
Like a hand sprayer.
And an extra, some extra crossbow bolts.
That is no problem whatsoever. As for darkness,
You're in trouble already.
Lovely.
alright, what's your list?
What's my list?
Let's start.
Wand of
Let's go.
Fireball.
Hold on.
Uh,
I'm gonna go item by item.
yes.
Well, they're definitely gonna have Wand of Fireball.
Okay.
That is so bread and butter, it hurts.
Yes. Dragon Slayer.
Although it's the rarity cost thing is I'm gonna have to look up here.
Yeah.
So I can figure out the cost. That's gonna be the one randomish kind of thing. What is the market going for Wands of Fireball at this point?
I don't know, what's the rarity?
Well, rarity, and then there's rarity's a range.
Ultra Mega Triple S Rare.
Going into wands. Is considered rare. Requires attunement by spellcaster. So basically you're saying you want to do more fire damage.
Yep.
Wall of fire isn't good enough for you.
Sometimes you need big boom.
Big bada boom. Alright, so rare. Give me a second. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yep. Okay. That is. Du-du-du-du-du-du. I would also like you to give me a persuasion check. Pardon me. Just to determine how good of a, job you do trying to be like, this isn't worth that much.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Dirty 20.
Off the initial 2,800 that they want for it, you're able to knock that down to about 2,250.
Okay.
That's it. 30/20 is pretty good.
Yep.
Item number 2.
Item number 2 is a Dragon Slayer.
Okie dokie. And what is its rarity? I'm assuming it's going to be fairly rare. And then modified by it being in this world.
It is rare according to the DMG.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be 100 times 8.2. Go ahead and give me a persuasion.
Net 20 for a total of 22.
You're able to find one for 6,150 gold pieces.
I'm a pass
Fair.
for the time being.
This game does have a Burgermeister or cowboy. Haha. Anyway, yeah. It is there. They do have some, but it's
not cheap. Okay, I'm good.
all right. Anything else in particular you guys are going shopping for or looking for in this particular time and moment? All right. So, Kundrik leads you off work, starting off in kind of the temple district. It's really easy to get to. But the three major temples that each have their own pantheons associated with them in this city are on, like, opposite sides of the hill that the city's built on. So it's going to be a bit of a journey between each, because you have to go to one, and then you've got to go a third of the way through around the town, kind of
That's fine.
halfway up the town.
I'm not unused to exercise.
It takes extra long because Kundrik's slow.
Kundrik is indeed slow. Slow even for a dwarf. All right. Nope, not this tune. I really need to get rid of that one.
Kundrik can't even go half past the speed of smell.
Half past the speed of smell. Wow.
Damn.
He's very slow for a squirrel. And
There's a spell we should get for him. Speed of the squirrel.
so I'm going to let this go into more of a short thing straight. You are able to find out the basic information that all three of the temples have teleportation circles inside of them. Kundrik is not allowed to study any of them.
Fuck.
Pass from the dude or not. They are no interest in allowing a wizard access to one of the teleportation circles that is not a wizard that is working for them officially. From the each of the pantheons all have kind of the same thing. They're like, yeah, no, it's nice and all, but none of you are representatives of the church.
Alright, Craig.
I'm not a representative of any church.
Okay, so I need you to wear this really big robe.
Kundrik asks for help, asking around to people. Or maybe even, since you're far more diplomatic than him, you can ask around for him, and he'll help.
I have. What kind of check would that be?
Am I stuffing you in my pocket?
Investigation.
Go on.
Or
Just thinking
persuasion, if you really want to do it that way, but if you want to get a better consensus of a collective group of people, that would be investigation.
Well, that's good, because I'm proficient in investigation.
Alright. And Kundrik's helping.
Shaking bacon.
But I'm going to the cards.
23.
23. All right. After a little bit of asking around, close to even one of the temples that you're at, you hear that there is indeed a loose collection of wizards in the city that don't exactly have like a wizard's guild kind of a thing, but they do have a meeting place. It is called the Theater of the North, literally what they call it, and you get directions there. Kundrik kind of plods along for a bit until you guys find the location. And walking in, yeah, it's kind of like a little amphitheater that's just built into the, like side of the hill with where it's at. Not a really big affair. Like, it's one of those kind of things that might seat like maybe 80 people, maybe 120 if people got real friendly. These guys get close to it. There is a young lady that approaches you. Oh, I don't think anybody is available to help you with your services, sir. She's looking directly at Rurik when you guys walk up.
She said what?
I don't think anybody's around to help you with any services.
No. Oh. I look at Kundrik. I don't think we're here for services. I think we're here to look for information on something.
Kind of moves around you. Yeah, no, you're gonna have to talk to me. She looks at Kundrik, makes a little bit of a face of like almost disgust, then followed by confusion, then interest, then disgust, then interest again. As she sees the wooded dwarf. Yeah, I'm a wizard. And I would like to find a teleportation circle so I can attempt to get back to this town at some point. She goes, oh, stay right here. She goes down into the kind of like little theater seating area, and there's a door that leads kind of into the hill itself from where it's at.
Ah, there she goes to get the assassins.
She goes out. She comes back out a moment later with a beanpole of a man. His hair is these wild, unkempt dreads that are kind of going in every direction. Unkempt's probably the wrong term. Just wild, poofed out dreads is probably the best way of putting it. It's not like dirty dreads kind of look. Don't want to make it seem like that. There's just
Not that cool.
someone has zero interest in trying to keep them in one direction or another. Yeah, he comes out. He's wearing a sleeveless robe, like it's just over shoulders and down, and but he's got what looks to be fairly common working kind of clothes underneath. And he comes over. Yeah, plant dwarf. Winter goes, kind of. Interesting. The cleaner. Because that's all she is right now. She got in trouble, so she's doing some cleaning. It's great when you need some extra help. Hi. You need access to a teleportation circle? Kendrick just kind of looks at him and says, yeah, that's what I told her. All right. Well, is this your bodyguard or servant or dare be an apprentice? Kundrik starts laughing.
This is where Rurik needs to show him fireball.
Rurik looks at Kundrik. I don't know. I think I do a decent job at guarding your body.
No, no, it's apprentice.
I cast iron! Ding!
Oh,
Rook is hurt. Rook is hurt. He does everything he can to protect his friends.
he's a great warrior, and he's by no means an unintelligent fellow. I don't think he has the attention span to sit there and try to read that many books. Gav through Dreads chuckles. A great warrior. Yeah, good to see it. And why did we lose the internet?
I can hear you.
It says I'm
can hear
streaming.
you. I mean, you do cut out
Everything's
from
moving.
time to time, but like, it's not terrible.
Yeah, like my internet suddenly just like went super slow for a moment, like down to the point of where the stream was like telling me it didn't have data, and the music started getting slightly offish. You're not like downloading 100 gigabytes of something, are you?
I'm not downloading anything.
I don't know.
I am.
I've sent Scott some gifts.
Are you getting the FBI to investigate our internet now?
I doubt it. Unless,
I am.
unless what's his face from Red Dwarf hitting himself in the dick with a hammer repeatedly is
So anyhow,
rumor. Yeah.
I'm hiding synths from Elon Musk.
but yeah, Burr, I apologize. Just I don't think I can teach you magic. I'm not that good of a teacher, and I don't think you're interested.
What's Rurik's intelligence?
What's
I'm
it?
just curious.
Rook's intelligence? Okay, one sec.
Take away 6.
15.
He could learn magic.
He could.
He's got a high enough intelligence to
He
multi-class into wizard.
I do. If I sat down and I actually tried, I think I might be able to, but magic is so confusing. There's so many things. Everything feels like magic, and I don't know if I can keep that much information.
The guy of Dreads holds out his hand towards you, Rourke. My name is Irins. It's a pleasure to meet a man that honestly is able to understand his limitations.
He shakes his hand. Thanks.
No problem. Alright, but yeah. I mean, we showcase swordplay every once in a while. Nothing too terribly fancy. Something to help bring some money in to, help support the place, because all of us are way too cheap to actually attempt to use our personal funds to pay for it. To be honest. But yeah, no, yeah. What's your name again, my fine dwarf? Kudrick just looks at him and goes, Kudrick. Alright, let me take you to where the teleportation circle is. You, my good man, if you'll just wait right here. We'll be right back. Alright, they disappear. Probably gone for about half an hour. And they come back out. And the guy's kind of like half in the middle of explaining that I wouldn't expect anything to be there anytime that you're trying to come in if you really need to come here, but you do never know. So don't expect to run here in a hurry. Don't let this be the emergency you're trying to dash away to in the middle of some kind of fight somewhere. You're just like, no, don't worry. This city isn't exactly my kind of place. And he chuckles, and they walk back over. He outpaces Kudrick very quickly, and he comes over to you. I understand you've got something that you want me to take a look at?
Oh, yes. I acquired this sword, and I wanted to know more about it. I pulled out the ghost blade.
All right. It takes a look at it. Takes a moment, lays it out, casts a spell. One that is pretty close to what you've seen Kundrik actually cast. So you're not a wizard. Yes, Rurik is not a wizard. By the way, in case you're both listening, Cowboy, Rosalie did respond. Rosalie is here. Anyway. He hands it back and goes, that's a really good question. I can tell it's a... Now, this is going to sound funny. It is a magical blade. Which one might argue that the appearance of it would state that. But as in addition to its insubstantial properties. So it's more than just either an illusion that's made real enough to interact with the world, or even a ghostly blade, in the sense of literally just a blade manifesting on a ghost that somehow stuck around. It's a good question as to what exactly this thing does. I would need a lot more time to actually go over it and attempt to go further. There is a member of our association that might be willing to look at it. He specializes in being an artificer specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, would this be considered an artifact? I thought artifacts were like metallic trinkets and whatnot.
Kundrik, they're just catching, probably caught up by this point. No, artificer is someone who just, they make... They're... So, I'm a necromancer, right? An artificer is a wizard who specializes in making magic stuff. It's the easiest explanation.
Are they the ones who primarily make most magic stuff?
What's a better way of putting this? It's more of a specialty, like anybody who wields magic can make them. In fact, some magic items just pop into existence the way they are without any help of a wizard making them. Every blacksmith is a blacksmith and can make things.
Unless they're a shitty blacksmith.
Artificers are... Think of a blacksmith that's an artist. That they attempt to go above and beyond just being a blacksmith.
Makes sense.
That's the best I got. I was going to use the blacksmith versus, weaponsmith kind of thing, but that isn't the right thing.
Like, there are plenty of warriors and people who like fighting, but there are very few blade meisters.
Yeah, there you go. That works. And with that, the guy gives you instructions on where that guy generally rests his head. He doesn't know if he's in town or not. He might not help you, he might. He might charge you money, he might not. No idea what he'll do. For all he knows, the guy's off studying somewhere. He hasn't told anybody that he, at least is aware of that he left town. But, yeah, we're basically a club. When people show up to the meetings, they show up to the meetings, and when they don't, they don't.
Makes sense.
Generally try to keep to each other's business and, try to make sure that this place is at least maintained with someone every once in a while. I'm not even officially here right now. I happen to be stopping in to grab something, and you caught me here. Otherwise, this being punished apprentice would probably have just told you to come back at a certain, time to talk to someone. All right. Kundrik turns to you and goes, well, Do you want me to come along with you for that, or are you good?
I can go.
Yeah, okay. Would you prefer someone there with you?
Well, we had practiced never being alone, especially in a place like this. Just because bad things usually tend to happen when one person is by themselves.
I mean, I suppose that's a good idea. Maybe I just felt a little bit more convenient with these badges that say we're here on business with Lord Muckety Muck.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I do doubt that'll stop a mugger in the street. I don't know.
I think
That probably wouldn't go well, but I don't think a mugger in the street knows what they're up against if they try to bother any of us.
I don't know if a regular mugger would look at me carrying these swords and say I'm going to rob them.
I mean, muggers mug people. It's what they do. Who
I don't
knows?
spend much time in the cities, so I don't really know.
And what are we?
Arrested.
Muggers!
What do we do? We mug
Those
people.
one people in the last city.
I'm just asking if you want me to be with you. If you want to be safe, that's fine. I'm about to go head to a library, and I'm planning on starting to look at books until it probably reaches about dinner, and then bother people.
Hey, you.
That's going to take time, I understand. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, he told me where the libraries I should look for are going to be.
Why I'm like this. I love you, brother.
I will go find him and then I'll probably go do some shopping.
Alrighty, ready. You know what? Let's go shopping together.
My brother.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we can do that shopping bit right now. Now, I want to double check. How much is the gold that everybody got?
I'm gonna elbow you in the brain a few times.
8,135.
Cool.
I
Kundrik buys
missed you for
a
Christmas,
small
Friday.
collection of items that
Gotta give
cost
you
him
something, right?
around 7,000 gold pieces when he's done.
Sorry, debilitating, temporary, crippling pain.
Including a pair of boots that give him a speed of 30.
You did?
Yeah, I slipped and fell
Damn.
over there and fucking good.
It's the boots of stringing and striding. It says it sets your speed to 30.
I pulled the groin muscle when doing because I put the splits.
That's really good. Oh my god, that's really good for you.
Yeah! Kundrik can finally keep up with the group when they're walking.
Yeah, it is.
And because they're magical boots, he can wear them because they'll conform to his feet.
He also gets a decanter of endless water, a
Doctor Who.
small glowing orb, and a cloak of protection.
It is. So was the Mothman one.
Mothman.
Mothman.
Doggy's not
Cloak of
bad.
protection for obvious reasons. The little orb
Mothman.
that he gets is something that he can command to get to light, but he can also set it where it's floating and following him.
Drift globe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it can also produce the daylight spell once per day.
Which gets rid of
That's really good.
vampires.
Yeah, there's vampires in town. He, in fact, makes mention of that after he buys it. He's like, well, I don't got worried about getting attacked by vampires in the library at night.
And the next one. Jesus Christ.
All right, on to your shopping list. What you got?
Alright, to start. It's not very long. 2 javelins of lightning.
2 javelins of lightning.
It's 270 items long.
Well, that's going to make that real easy. Javelin of lightning. Let's see how rare it is.
Uncommon.
It is ultra rare.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. You said uncommon? Damn it, I closed the book. Why do I do that?
I believe so.
Okay. I can do that like this.
Oh, can you?
Guess I can. And bring back up the calculator. What is the current going price for a javelin of lightning? Right?
Yep.
Times. $365 gold.
You want to borrow it?
For both or for one?
Each.
Right.
Okay.
That is the going price for them right now.
Right.
Dwarven.
That's fair. The real question
Would you like to
is,
borrow it?
and this is the harder one.
If anything, just to read it.
Yeah.
Just to read
Okay.
it next time you come.
Belt of giant strength.
That one's harder to use.
Also,
Just look at the
That one is
Alright,
pretty
hold
hard.
on. Because I already decided I was going to do something very specific for these. And I need to actually take a look at it. It's really early on. Come on. No, I don't care about instant fortresses or apparatuses of Qualsh for that matter.
But I love the apparatus of the all.
Which one are you looking for offhand?
That's the issue. I would prefer the one with 23 strength, just because that's better. But I mean, if it's way too expensive because it's very rare or not around,
Do they have a very rare item? Hold on.
that's the problem.
You weren't even able to find one. As I said, very rare stuff is less likely to be found here. Rare was the closest you were going to find.
No, that's fair. I just was saying. Then the rare one, which is I think Hill Giant Strength.
Yep. Okay. So that is 5 times 7.3. They have one for 3,650. Weird how that worked out.
Okay. I'm good with that. Do I need to roll persuasion for either of those?
You know what? That's fair. You can go ahead and do that.
Alright, 17 for the belt.
You have to pay an extra $3 grand.
I'll see you get it down to 3,450. Don't worry about the javelins.
Yeah, we'll take the javelins as is, it's fine. Alright, cool. Then I'm good. That's it.
Alrighty, ready. Well, that was very quick shopping for everybody. Especially the halfling. Alright. But yeah, after that, he goes waddling off towards the library. Says, I'll see you guys later about dinner, I assume.
Later.
That or tonight in the room. If I might get absorbed in my reading. Oh, he also bought a lot of paper and inks while he was out shopping, too.
oh, holy shit.
Gundrick is effectively close to being broke again.
Good job.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it? All right. I saw movement from over there, Scott. I was wondering what the hell was going on. Necronominomenon. All right. Well, Rourke going off to find the artificer.
Yeah.
Okay. You get to the location that was stated, and it's in the middle of the shopping district. And it's a place that you might have gone in randomly. I didn't pay attention to figure out which one, but it's, Mel's magnificent emporium of not imperial, but imperious items.
That's an
Fancy.
It's an inferior shop. It's not a shop.
Right.
All right.
Ahmed's, Akbar's.
You go into the shop, and it's got a variety of mostly low-tier magic items. In fact, you're pretty sure you've seen some of these magic items in other people's shops as well. Not like the exact same one, like, you know, they're suddenly portaling around, but like some of the more generic magic items seems to be coming from this place.
He found all the same ones.
So
because
this is
he's
the
stealing-
bodega mart of magic shops.
Oh, those are the Ock shops.
And but yeah, there's like a couple people wandering around, like helping customers and things like that. Almost all of them, whether or not it's a uniform or whether it's true, they all have robes, pointy hats, walking around with staves, each with like, you know, arcanish looking stuff on their various robes and whatnot.
Ooh, fancy.
Yep.
Bunch of virtue signalers.
What do you do?
Well,
I steadfastly ignore them.
I already forgot the name of the dude who sent me here. Wilters? No, that wasn't right. Barnes?
Let me put it back up. Begins with an E.
Ice.
Elysis? Elysis.
Elisis. Okay.
Hey there, Alonda. Welcome to D&D language.
Sometimes it's hard.
It is. So, yeah, Elysis.
Okay. And what was the name of the person that I came here to look for?
Never told you.
Okay, cool.
You're,
so
you know what? There is a reasonable guess that you might be trying to look for Mel.
That's fair. I looked up. So I know a bunch of people looking very magically, wizardly inclined. The real question is, like, do any of them look in official capacity, like an archivist or something, or a secretary?
The nerdiest one with glasses.
After taking a moment to look, they're all in the exact same outfit. And they're all relatively young people. All human, of course. That's the best you got. Like, they're just, right now, they're working customer service jobs. Like, one of them's currently going over a magical washing board with someone. Another person is, you know, helping a warrior type look at armor. And another one is helping someone look at kind of fertilizers in the corner of, you know, Mel's Miracle Grow.
Well, since there's a bunch of people who seem to be already helping other people, I can wait my turn.
Okay. Well, eventually, one of the people comes over. Ah, warrior, is there anything I can do for you today, good sir?
Yes, I'm looking for an artificer who could help me identify the properties of a magical item I have.
Well, this is a store.
Oh, well, somebody, my apologies, Elisis told me to come here and look for said artificer.
Well, wait here. Take off into a back room.
He's going to get the assassins. You didn't come here to buy
The
anything.
assassins! Alright. A little bit later, someone else wearing a very similar outfit to the others. But there's some silver trim to their robes. Hi, my associate has told me that you have a, well, unusual request. Can you please restate it for me? If you would be so kind.
Yes, I was looking to see if somebody would be able to help me uncover the properties of a magic item I have.
And that's all you said?
And Elias sent me.
One moment. And they go back off to the back again.
Told you, they're getting the assassins.
A little bit later, probably about 15, 20 minutes. Same person comes back out and says, come with me. Takes you off to a different back room area.
Yep.
Go in, you see like they've got a real simple table and a couple chairs at the table.
And drains
There's a
in the
couple
center of the floor.
racks over there that look like they might, hold stuff at various, points here, there, wherever. But whatever overstock might be back there, it looks pretty bare at the moment. And there's some stairs that lead up to the upper floor of the place. And then coming down the stairs as you're going to the room is probably one of the oldest looking humans you think you've ever seen. The butler looked old and emaciated. This man basically looks like he probably should be on life support.
He's mummified.
Like, he looks about as healthy as Famine from Supernatural. And I know that's not a very good way of explaining it, but he's a very old, frail-looking man.
Oh man, he's pretty spry for an old guy. He's probably dancing around in his motorized wheelchair.
He comes down. He's wearing a similar robe, at least in look, as the other ones. But this one looks like is a lot fancier, and the other ones have kind of like a gray to blue kind of color to them. This one is straight up black. Silver trim everywhere. Arcane sigils that seem to glow as the thing kind of moves a little bit. And he comes down, same kind of big old Gandalf-y pointed hat though. What did Elias tell you I could do?
Specialize in magic items.
Right.
You're not dealing with the brightest guy.
As an artificer of some sort.
I mean, he's not wrong.
See, this is starting to head towards a direction that doesn't seem like you're someone strange off the street who's just trying to guess real hard off of wizard or reputation's names.
No.
Alright. Interesting. Alright, who are you?
My name is Eric.
Uruk?
Rurik.
Rurik.
I've only been in town for probably about a day. My companions and I came. We had business with someone, and on my wizard companion was looking for a magic circle that he could have access to, but the priests would not give him access to it. But
Don't tell me. Elias decided to share the magic circle with some country bumpkin out from rural nowhere.
well, I think I don't think my tree dwarf friend is a country bumpkin, but
Real quick, to answer your question, Rosalie White, I almost called you Rosalie with a white. I did indeed beat Squirrel with a gun, including the very anime boss at the end. Anyway. Plant dwarf, huh?
yes, he attempted to cast magic in the wild area and got transformed. We haven't been able to figure out how to turn him back, but he doesn't seem
In a
too perturbed by it.
wild area.
Yes, there's supposedly an area of wild magic that if you cast magic in, random
It's a
effects
wild magic area. See, that makes more sense than just being out in the forest and being like, I cast magic missile. Oh crap, my dong turned into wood.
Well, you know, sometimes you cast magic.
My
get hard
apologies.
too.
I forget that
I speak
technically
from the trees.
wild area would be a thing, but I assumed it was my baseless assumptions to automatically think you would know what I mean. My apologies.
Look at the source where this information is coming from. If you are attempting to create any credibility with someone, speak as though you know what you're talking about.
Well, I knew I was talking about the wild magic area, but I assumed since you were magically inclined, you would have thought that's what I meant more than the regular forest.
I don't know if you just saw that, but he puts his palm against his face and kind of runs it down.
Yes.
I'm... Right now, I'm trying to wonder if you are sitting there thinking, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Have to say things, deep breath, and are just saying the words as they kind of spawn out as you're distracted by attempting to remain alive by breathing.
No, I put thought into every word that I said.
You said Down syndrome hasn't given you time in life.
So. Maybe I'll chalk it up to your being simple and trying to explain things in simples and leave the various assumptions, which are, of course, making asses out of everything within a 10-mile radius.
Which is why I apologized for it.
Congratulations. Men with your amount of muscles rarely apologize for anything unless they actually see error in their ways, and then they're more likely to defend themselves through a duel than actually attempt to apologize.
We're all mortal. We all make mistakes.
You say we like you know that I happen to be mortal.
Some more than others. And I don't mean we as in you, I meant we as in me and my companion.
I mean, haven't you heard this town has a vampire problem? I might be a vampire for all you know.
I've never met a vampire, so I wouldn't know.
You've never met a vampire that you know of.
That's a good point.
What does Elias look like?
I give a description.
He looks like a bitch.
String bean, motherfucker.
Alright, what is this thing you want to take me to take a look at?
Pull out the ghost blade.
Should've led with that.
Takes a look at it. Pulls out a little spectacle, puts it in the eye. After a moment, he lets that kind of drop and pulls out one of those like little gem crafter like little thingies. Jeweler's loop. Inspects it again for a minute. It's a pretty simple item.
Yeah?
I'm sure you've already been able to, well, as long as you've attempted to use it. I'm assuming you got this from something that was already innately insubstantial.
You cut out there, what?
I'm assuming you got this from something that was innately insubstantial to begin with.
He short circuits Rick as he tries to contemplate the meaning behind insubstantial, because that could mean a lot of things, especially because I would say that the soul of the man who wielded the sword is definitely not insubstantial, and the circumstances that we acquire them are insubstantial, but his life force is theoretically also insubstantial. So
He puts his fingers in front of you and starts snapping. Were you fighting a ghost? Or did you get it from a ghost?
Yes, I did get it from a ghost.
Sorry, I got stuck in the cycle of breathe in, breathe out again for a moment there.
Rude. I was trying to play quite important things.
Gonna have to rename him Corky.
So, ironically, it's not any kind of amazing material. The material is a ghost-crafted metal. It is an insubstantial blade that is effectively metal and could, in theory, be actually fully pulled back from the ethereal plane, and it would be just a normal magical blade.
Interesting.
It has some kind of special connection to whatever had it, most likely something that carried a duty. That may cause it to need multiple weapons. Duty.
Ooh, a paired blade.
But effectively, this blade is a reflection of what is existing in the ethereal plane and moving around. Most likely, due to the creature's own important mission it was attempting to carry out. Trying to avoid the word now. Thanks. House bear. It's not stopped necessarily by any blockages in the ethereal plane. So it can move around in this one unimpeded as long as it's manifested here. Because that's it. You have a blade that's manifesting, and you're able to hold it and touch it, meaning it can attack normal foes, and it can also attack ethereal foes.
Okay.
But only if you know they're there. They have to at least be partially manifest themselves. Or you have to be able to see into the ethereal plane itself to then attempt to attack them in that plane.
Cool.
So, that's not a normal magical property of something. That's a side effect of where you acquired it. Beyond that, it's a basic magical enchantment as far as I can tell. Sharper than another blade, won't go dull. Really hard to break.
Would you be able to break a ghost blade? A sword, an ethereal sword?
The costs would be prohibitive. This is, well, while the material isn't anything, in theory, all that special, it's most likely just a steel sword. That you can swing around effortlessly because it's not even physically here. It's literally a ghost of the sword that's stuck in the ethereal plane. That doesn't make it necessarily intelligent. I'm not saying that the sword has a soul, although effectively that's what you're holding is the soul of the sword. Not the sword itself.
Makes sense.
It's... To make something else like this, I'd probably have to find a way to replicate that undead to allow this kind of tethering between the material and the ethereal plane. And capture it so that it is in a place that it won't unmanifest. And be in the ethereal plane to attempt to enchant the weapon.
Interesting.
To be fair, somebody handed you their sidearm that they didn't really need. At least to carry out their duties.
Oh,
Be my guess.
that's honorable in its own right.
I can't tell you how many other strange effects might happen with running around with the soul of the sword, but heck, it might get stolen by someone in the ethereal plane. You would never even know it. Well, other than you'd probably see the blue insubstantial part of it floating away. To be fair, you could probably just toss it through a wall if you needed to. Same kind of thing.
Oh, dude, that would be so cool where I could just, like, a sword throw through a wall.
You probably could.
But where
That
would
would
it
be cool.
stop?
It's a perfectly aligned up and down lightsaber.
Oh no.
It goes to the center of the earth explodes.
So most of the now this would be an incredibly expensive sword, but that's again because of its properties, and you'd have to find someone who's willing to shell up the kind of money. But for all intents and purposes, now there's nothing wrong with the basic magical enchantment. Plus the material. I'm sure it's probably quite useful, at least if you use it. Given the nature of the weapon, it doesn't do anything extra against defenses and things like that, unless someone happens to be hiding right on the other side of a wall. Actual defenses designed to defend someone would continue to defend them against it. A wall is designed to be a wall. That's a little different. So attacking an enemy that's trying to hide behind cover would probably be useful. But, like I said, any defensive, either magical or practical. Like, I'm sure if you were attempting to hit someone in a suit of full plate armor, it would clang off the full suit of armor just like any other weapon. But it's designed, I'm guessing, to be an honor weapon, especially with the stuff that's inscribed up and down the blade.
Yes, a ghost offered me the sword when I won a battle of honor with him.
Now, see? There you go. And until that ghost gives up their duty, you've got a blade. If the ghost gives up their duty, likely this would just demanifest. But that would be the accident of them. The real blade might, pop into existence. In which case, there might be more to it in its abilities at that particular point, but
Embarrassing.
I couldn't say. And I'm not traveling to the ethereal plane to attempt to inspect this weapon in person. You can find somebody else to do that.
Fair enough.
Sir, for all I know, you've got some kind of, Holy Avenger that its soul just doesn't, reflect over here very well. But, for your intents and purposes, my good warrior, that's the best you're going to get out of it.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
Alright. That'll be grand.
Hand it over.
Your money's good.
So what if he has COPD?
Anything else?
Breathing issues where she doesn't stop smoking.
That's all. Thank you for your help.
Real quick. So I'm working on it.
Thank you for at least a minor amount of gold to waste my time.
She's not able to.
Well, I mean, you could use it as a method of every time she smokes, you put a
Now,
Sure.
I'm a busy man and I've got a bunch of apprentices to make sure that they're making things right.
It's terrible, I know.
You can get out now.
You won't survive.
Then he starts going up the stairs.
Just knowing you is probably bad
It was
enough.
Juan's idea.
What was that?
I leave.
Okay. On the way out, the various people in the uniforms outside. You know, one of them's like, "Oh, have a good day, sir." Is he randomly leaving?
Thank you.
All right, you make it outside of Mel's magnificent emporium of not imperial but imperious items.
Imperious
Such a fancy title.
curiosities.
It is.
Is there something in the bathroom that I should be afraid of?
Yes.
That sounds.
So, on the in-between, what have Solomon and Darkness has been doing? Just standing around at the apartments, or what's up?
Not enough.
Alright, well, eventually we're going to say that evening kind of comes along, and Burke comes back after his excursion. Kundrik is nowhere to be seen.
I slay the night.
It's not night yet. It's evening. Unless you're going to call Rurik a knight, and, well, that's a whole different shebang.
That might be a little too far.
I have 2 crossbows now.
I have 2 swords. You want a crossbow versus sword battle?
You have to catch me first.
I have a wand of fireball.
Okay.
She catches
Give
something.
me fire.
I have evasion.
Let you purchase it.
Your wand of fireball means nothing to me.
Somebody gave me fire! I love that. Oh. Alright. The butler comes by. There's some food that is produced. And he says that you guys are free to use the apartment until noon tomorrow. In which case, the master of the house will be traveling on some business. And as such, would prefer this to remain open. With that, the butler leaves. Apparently getting a very suspicious look from Solomon, because the house bear is giving me a very suspicious look, so I'm assuming that's why he's doing it. He's even stroking his beard. Which is better than stroking other things while we're streaming, but... Now he's stroking his hand.
Put that away.
He's getting lower. This is getting disturbing. If you hear me scream, it's because he dropped trow. Anywho.
Brother.
I sigh in disappointment at you.
Kundrik will send a message spell to probably Solomon. Yeah, I'm going to be at the library till late.
Understood. We have to leave here by noon tomorrow.
Told you.
All right. But yeah, with that, unless someone's doing anything exciting,
I'm a nature guy. It's in their nature.
gets to
Fuck
be
out.
night, guys go to
Or the
sleep.
sewer.
Kundrik, around like 1 o'clock in the morning, comes stumbling in.
Wait a minute. Somebody wants to take a trip to the sewers.
No, just you. Just you.
I'm putting you down there first. Again.
Morning comes around. For those of you who wake up on time, there's hot breakfast. For those of you who wake up a little bit later, there's cold breakfast. But
And what happened for that?
before noon, I'm assuming you're all awake at that particular juncture.
And that was it.
Eat breakfast, get up, pack my stuff. I guess we're gonna go find an inn.
All right.
I fold up my halfling, put him in my pocket, and walk out.
I am not your halfling.
Yes, you are.
You have a
I
halfling?
claimed you.
I mean, that's the dragon mother, so, the dead mother, I should say. So, the halflings count, right?
Yes. They're small enough to be my children. I don't care if they're 90 years old.
All right. What kind of quality of inn are you guys looking for? Like, the Ritz or the Ritz Cracker?
I do too.
But fitting all of you on top of a Ritz Cracker to go to sleep might be very inconvenient.
Do we have a shrinking spell?
No.
I just pull everybody's money together and
Yes,
that's
we
my bag.
do. I have enlarged
I divide
reduce.
it back out in the
So
morning.
we
Okay,
do have a shrinking spell.
You can shrink. Well, I suppose as many targets as you have available for it, because I'm pretty sure that's a
It's a one
Why
time
can't you just enlarge
Yeah.
the cracker?
That's what I'm saying. Per spell,
It's a
enlarge the cracker.
It's a concentration spell.
Oh shit.
Well, how much is the expensive place?
I'm gonna go with the most expensive place that you can find. It's probably about 10 gold per person for night, as long as you're not getting their more expensive rooms, which is probably gonna be like, I don't know, 50 gold per person per night.
That's pretty posh.
How many of us are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the bard.
So,
I'll splurge half. You
Oh yeah, and the
splurge half.
stables produce Shadow,
60,
who looks freshly cleaned and polished even.
60 per night.
The digging claws have been properly, taken care of and cleaned out. And
I can't math.
60 per night. How many nights are we gonna stay?
Shadow's gonna need some more dirt on her eventually. Him, them.
Say probably at least a week.
no one has successfully determined the actual gender of it. People tried and failed.
So about 420
Yeah.
gold. I'll work that over. You don't have to worry about that.
Flat.
So what's paying for the expensive one?
Yeah.
Throw a giant
Throw a
sack
hole.
of gold.
Smack him in the face with a gold brick.
All right.
Ding.
Well, you guys don't have to go too far, much further down the hill. It's one of the posh hotels that's kind of outside of the nobles areas. Complete with daily baths, lunches and dinners are included. Breakfast, lunches, and dinners.
A scale scrub.
Manny Petty.
If you want somebody else to do it, you should either A, have one of your servants do it, or B, no human in this goddamn town is going to do that for you. They may not be as overtly bad as other things, but they are definitely not going to be giving you a scale cure.
Okay, that's it. I do have to buy a slave. Just for that reason.
Will
That's
they
gonna
give
be
me a
like...
Manny pedicure?
They can give you a man in a petty if you so desire.
That slave so much he's gonna be too fat to follow us around, so we have to put him on a fucking cart. Give me my scale scrub. We just finished
Alright.
combat.
As soon as you guys find the place, Rourke stows his stuff and goes off to the library. He's going to be doing that for some
Alright.
time.
You mean Kundrik?
Kundrik. Did I say Rourke?
Yes.
Yeah. I apologize. Kundrik. All these peoples with the... Somebody gave me fire. Phantom, I'd like to point out that Rosalie is now your favorite. Or you are now her favorite. Babas
Yay.
apparently has lost his place. All right. Now, collectively, what are people planning on doing? Is there anybody's going to be trying to do any kind of like looking around, doing anything? Because Kundrik is going to be doing some research for well over a week on this one.
Fighters Guild or place to exercise or train.
Trying to find a place to continue keeping swole, even though you now have artificial swollenness.
Yeah.
You can stop exercising. Your belt says you are so strong, period.
I steal his belt. Now I am strong.
Hey, Jason Meadows. Yes, if you steal his belt, you will suddenly have a 21 strength. All right. Darkness, anything?
Darkness is probably gonna try tuning her wand of fireball. That's gonna take time.
Not that long. How long does it take to attune magic items?
One short rest.
Yeah.
You literally could do it over a short rest.
Well, Darkness is gonna go take a nap and attune her magic item.
Well, considering we've already slept, you're attuned.
Darkness is gonna go be a menace to society. I don't know what Darkness is doing.
That actually sounds pretty accurate.
Going out and being a menace. Noted. Solomon?
I'm gonna take drugs.
Okay. Solomon, not the house bear. The house bear is currently taking drugs, so he stays alive. These are the good Durgs. Kendrick's easy. He's the one everybody's waiting on.
Sometimes it stings.
Not as much as when they're cold.
Yeah, when they're cold, they really sting.
He explained that to me the other day. It's like extra stingy, extra
It
cold.
feels like fire.
But it's the opposite.
No, it's the same. It's the same sensation.
Yeah.
Your brain actually doesn't know the difference between extreme cold and extreme heat.
Yes, it does.
So are you going to be trying to look up anything in this surprisingly old-looking city?
Yep, I spend the next 7 days wandering around being a menace to everybody who has an old house.
It's 10 days total.
It's even better. 10 days of being a menace.
Okay.
I will appraise people's homes for them.
Assist in that with Fireball!
And then charge them for insurance.
So
Yes,
you've
fully
been in
insurance
town for like 3 days, and you're already starting up a protection racket,
Only,
empowered by the fireball wand.
only because I need to stop them from actually burning down
Hell yeah.
houses. Because we're not actually immune to being arrested.
Okay, work, wandering around looking for a place. This city doesn't... There seems to be a generalized disdain in this town for martial
Battle
fighting.
fighters.
Not so much as like, oh, we don't like fighting at all. It's more of just like there doesn't seem to be any kind of collections for anything else along those lines. The only person that gave you any information that seemed like anything like that thus far in the town was when he went to the theater.
Courteous or arms extreme?
And Eliza said that, yeah, they sometimes hold fights here to make money.
You heard me, bitch.
Sure.
And as you go around and ask people, they're like, I've never heard of like a fighters guild or association or club or gym. I mean, you could go outside of the town and someone could give you money to break rocks, I suppose.
That's good.
But they mostly have people that do that for them. Yeah, Monster Java, Rosalie. Oh no, Monster Java, Jason Meadows, obviously. And hi, House Bear. I hope Drew is treating you nicely.
Nope.
Not really.
There's witnesses.
You're gonna
kind
get
of
me
a
in trouble
jerk.
with Rosalie, and that's never good.
Rosalie, I need you to come to America and beat him up. Maybe start him on fire a little.
But yeah, that is the only lead that you have thus far, Rurik.
That sucks.
I mean, you could go attempt to ask Alexis. That is a lead. But walking around looking and generically asking people seems to yield no results.
I guess I'll investigate the bounty or the vampire hunters.
All right, give me an investigation.
Just gonna muck this up and come to the ghost facers.
16.
The lone gunman.
They don't have an official headquarters because they're not so much like an official organization as they are a loose collection of vampire hunters that kind of gravitate towards a particular bar and inn, which is called the...
Ghost face.
How edgelord did I get when I make this?
Probably vary because
Pizza
you're a fucking
cutter?
edgelord.
It's probably the Stabby McStab stab. I only wear black, and my sister's pants barely fit me.
It's at the bloodstained handle inn.
Yeah, that's about right.
The bloodstained what?
Handle.
Some fucking 8-year-old human kid came up with that.
All right. You go into the inn? Oh, Rosalie would gladly come here and beat me up, by the way.
Yes, I know she would.
You go there and you see the reason why it's named that. It doesn't have a sign other than a generic beer keg kind of hanging off above the door.
Rosalie, like Scotland or something like that?
Irish.
Irish?
Mhm.
I would definitely buy her plane ticket to come here just to beat your ass.
She might take you up on that.
I just have to witness the beating.
But the actual like door handle to get into the bar looks, like someone exploded against it.
It's got drippy bits.
It's very dried. Like it's not like it's, in current state, but there's a big bloody stain on the handle and on the door near the handle itself. And a little bit of the stone next to it as well.
Put a glove on before you touch that.
Creepy.
Okay. And you can hear revelry and music coming in from inside the building before you even get the door open.
Oh, that's it. We just chained the place shut and burn it down. Vampires everywhere
Fireball?
rejoice.
Somebody say fireball. I have fireball.
A place is suspicious. Did somebody say fireball? That place looks completely normal. Did somebody say fireball?
No.
Is that what this is turning into?
Nobody said fireball.
No, maybe.
We didn't ask how big the
Yeah.
room was.
Alright. Anyway, you're going into the bar, I assume. The smell of sweat, garlic, and stale beer assault your senses. You open the door, there's a cloud of
Delicious.
smoke, which is a mixture of incense and various other herbs that are being consumed, floats from outside the door. Looking in, it's a dark and dimly lit place. There's currently some people that are just standing around singing a generic drinking song about getting bit by a snake and something about making it your wife. The variety of the place, it's to say ne'er-do-well is probably doing it justice. Is the people in here, all of them are scarred warriors of various types.
So
And I don't mean warrior in the sense of sword wielding warriors, but it looks like some of them are various kinds of casters and stuff, but none of them necessarily look reputable.
We wandered into Moss Isley.
That's basically what we just walked into.
Right on. This is a pretty scummy place.
My type of people. Hell yeah.
It's the kind of place that doesn't even bother hiring, bar wenches for anything other than just to serve drinks.
Grab the tabaxi by the scruff of her neck before she goes off and causes trouble.
I guess
No.
I'm not like.
Stay.
Trouble.
Stay.
Yet.
No, stay.
Shush.
I'm,
What?
I'm not looking for anything, and I'm not looking for things to fight. I'm really more just like nothing else to do, so I'm looking at any source of fightery that I can. So I'm more just here to just see what's going on, see how they do, what if anything crazy happens.
Okay. Fine, you start hanging out. Doing some day drinking? Or just sober, sitting there drinking water?
Water.
You order water, and someone suggests you might want to get something that's been through a brewing process. Probably not safe to drink the water here.
That's fair. But I don't, I didn't have a good experience with alcohol last time, so I don't want to drink
Have
alcohol.
some weak beer. The guy just passes over a mug.
Shrug, drink.
It's some really shitty beer.
You
I
got
don't really
Bud
know any
Light.
good beer.
Correct.
All
You know what?
right.
It tastes better than the Bugbear alcohol.
Oh, so they're surfing Bush Light.
I was thinking Bud Light, but yeah.
Milwaukee's best.
Oh God, we're drinking college beer.
Hell yeah.
Milwaukee's beast. But it's a heavily watered down beer. But, you know.
Milwaukee's best.
Yeah. But yeah, like, while you're
Nothing
there,
is
like, a
hard
couple
as
of
a
fist
fast
fights
food
randomly
winner.
break out between people. They drink. Songs randomly spring out of nowhere. It's not because they have bards, it's just drinking songs start up. And most of them are either incredibly weird. One of them you're pretty sure amounts to cannibalism. And the rest are just really raunchy. And so yeah, that's the experience that you're going through. Solomon, your search for bothering people about old residencies.
Yep.
What exactly are you doing? Are you like sneaking into their houses?
I'll
Or
be right back.
all right,
No, I'm really just walking around town.
okay. There's a variety of construction styles and things like that. Well, a lot of the buildings have at least parts of them that are old. The facades have changed, they've been remodeled over time and things along those lines. It does almost have the kind of look of a city that may once upon a time have been a ruin that then people settled and built on top of. But looking around, it's everything on this hill seems to be maintaining that kind of look of like, yeah, this was originally built far before we have any recorded history of in this region. You do find some of the buildings look like they've been preserved very well for what was originally there. Again, those almost have like it's generically say Rome aesthetic with columns and things along those lines. More of an open plan to the rest of the world in some cases and things along those lines. We're not talking like Roman tenement housing. We're talking about the more like what you'd see out of like a merchant level of living. Seems where most of these buildings are. They've been kept up with that. The nobles, looking around there, almost everything's been redone there. No one's like, we're going to hold to the... No, it's people who are like, I'm going to show that I have a bunch of money by spending some money and making the place look real nice. But not changing much, because that's a lot of prohibitive costs. And money. I like money. And going down into the poorer sections, heck, some of the buildings in the bottom level are not even really repaired from the ruin status. In some cases, they've got tarps covering shit. With ancient sagging wooden beams in places. But, as previously stated, while in most of the areas that you've been to, there's a certain level of poverty that exists. Oh, there's not a whole hell of a lot of it in the Valley of Ruin, where you guys come from. Because in the end, people kind of help take care of the people who were really shittily off.
Or they die.
Or they die. That is another option. Or they die. Dying does happen.
You're too dumb to figure out how to get food. You die.
But it follows on the fact that they don't even deal with the orphans there. Like, people just get adopted into families. It's endearing.
Well,
It's quality, really.
Well, because you know the child infancy death rate is 1 billion %.
But it does look like the poor people in this city are more well off than any of the poor people you've seen in any of the other Western Empire cities.
Oh, so they're only covered in shit, not on fire.
Well, I mean, They
No,
all look...
They have servants who are covered in shit.
Even the ones who look like they probably have an addiction to one or two of the substances that you see occasionally traded in the shadows, they all seem to be fed.
I eat 4 pounds of moon sugar.
Moon sugar!
And then I run back home.
But with that information, still just kind of like wandering around. Okay. Oh, darkness.
Hello, darkness.
Oh,
my
joy.
old friend.
You're going around trying to find or cause trouble.
If you get arrested, we
I
don't
might
know
run
you.
into Rurik and see if he wants to fight, because I am bored out of my mind.
So what kind of ways are you doing this? Like, because we're figuring from the first day and moving forward, kind of a thing.
You're kind of cutting in and out, unfortunately. And I'm watching the stream. You can't have subtitles, or you don't have subtitles, so I can't.
Yeah, I have to hit high latency on YouTube to like have the stream show like 10 minutes ago for it to have subtitles. Okay. We're starting on day 1, before you get uber bored and come bother Rurik. I'm looking for what kind of things you're trying to look for or do to find trouble. Like, are you going bar to bar, drinking, looking? Are you going to shady areas of town to try to get mugged? Like, what's the plan?
I might just go, like, bar hopping, I guess, and see, like, what's going on.
Okay.
What's the tea in the town?
Okay, well, roll me an investigation check. This is when the nat 1 pops out. Just to make you even more bored.
Close, it's an 8.
Well, you very easily hear more about vampires because it is just a kind of generic talk of the town. Although, I will give you that nobody you talk to seems to have a... Because I know you're... I just forgot the term. Trying to tell if somebody's lying or not.
Insight.
Insight. Your insight's ridiculously high. Even some of the people who say they've been attacked by vampires, like, they probably haven't been. They're just telling stories that came through. Like, no one seems to actually have been attacked by vampires, but obviously they're around and doing shit in town.
Okay, you're cutting out, like, every other word. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. I can't even tell from Mitch to see if it's proper. It may be the microphone. Hold on a second, everybody. Let me check and make sure that this is working right. Alright, let's see if it's going properly. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Let's see if it's using the right thing. It looks like it is. Alright, does that sound better?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. When you hear about vampires, there's no credible stories, though. Like, everyone's like, it's always a story they heard from somebody else, or if they claim that they got attacked, you're able to sift through it pretty quickly that, yeah, they didn't get attacked. Beyond that, you hear rumors of the people in this town seem to be very obsessed with the higher class of the city. There's nobles and or wealthy people that everybody seems to know of, and they have a favorite. and, you know, where they were last giving money to, or, you know, holding an event, or just the drama of their lives. Like, people's lives in this town seem to be almost consumed by following their version of the Kardashians. About 3 days in, you're in a bar, and you're probably getting a little bored because not a whole lot of talking between people in this bar. Like, it's fairly quiet. And an impressive-looking man with orcish ancestry, you're guessing. He doesn't look awfully orc, but there's a slight greenish tinge to his skin, and he's got slightly oversized teeth. You darkness?
Yep.
How you doing?
Good. Bored. What do you want?
Good, bored, what do you want? Ah, that's not much of a way to start a polite conversation. Sorry you're bored.
Fair.
Can't find anything to do in a city this size?
There's no trees. Or very little trees.
Yeah, come with me.
He takes you to the only tree in town.
Okay, go.
He gets up. He tosses a gold piece at the bartender and says it's for her mug. Takes you outside the bar. Starts just going down the street. Not a care in the world.
Okay, I'm doing this.
It's our turn to have to find her being kidnapped by the halfling mafia again.
He takes you down to not all the way to the lowest section of the city, but kind of like one of the more common, very, very common areas of the city. This is where the most basic of artisans are not, you know, like the guys who are hired by people to do construction and follow somebody else's plan as opposed to actual artisans themselves. And he kind of goes in between an area of two tight buildings, and boom, you're in a little bit of a park.
Nice.
The backs of all the buildings that surround this place are almost all covered by like vines and roots that have gone up them. And it's a collection of probably only about 40 or so trees. And some bushes and some flowers arranged. And there's a couple benches set out, and there's a statue in the center of it. How's this?
Nice. It's alright. I prefer open forest, but can't complain.
Well, you're currently in a city that is a bastion of civilization. What would they have need of a forest?
Sorry, Drew, you cut out again.
Damn it! You're in a place that is considered a bastion of civilization. What would they have need of a forest?
Because nature is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that idea. These people are... Everything is about the facade for them. And
Yeah.
civilized people don't go out into the woods. In fact, if it wasn't for
But
a
the
couple...
forest will come to them regardless.
Oh, they'll do everything they can to chop that forest away before it reaches their doorsteps.
Sorry, Drew, you cut out again.
They will do everything they can to chop down that forest before it reaches their doorstep.
But nature always wins in the end.
That's my new life goal.
To defeat nature. I mean, there's some truth to that. I'd probably agree. Then you hear a voice behind you from the entrance leading on in. Well, that's only if the entire forest doesn't burn down to become a desolate wasteland. Covered in ash?
True.
Hmm?
Well, that is true. That was. Would Darkness know about it being magically enhanced?
You guys have heard rumors that there may have been in some time past there was something magical that happened, that there's somehow like a rebound effect, but it's not considered to be like. No one knows. There's theories and ideas.
Okay. True. Rumor has it that area was magically enhanced to grow and die at a certain rate.
Well, coming in from the
Who knows?
little squeezing alley that's behind there, is a man who shows up who's flanked by two other individuals. One is male, one is female. They're all human looking. Well, humanish looking. The man who's speaking is somewhat short of stature. He's probably only about 5'5".
Midget.
Relatively thin built. Wearing tailored business attire, per se. It's not as, fancy as, like, he's got a merchant in his outfit, but he's definitely what would be considered, like, probably in the cities, they're simple working folk in this town. And it has a much tighter look than the average kind of, like, baggier, volume-centered garb of much of the rest of the city. The people who come on either side of him they're wearing armor. And hoods, and are very specifically standing near the entrance to the alley coming in, and looking at them. They're snow white pale. So your darkness.
I did not hear the last whatever. Because you kept cutting out like every 10 words.
I actually promise it's not my connection. I've been watching the literal connection that I've got. But
It might be my connection. I know this Wi-Fi at school is kind of crap.
That's fair.
So
A coming down from the alley that you came into here, into this little area, a man comes out with two companions. One is male, one is female. They're both wearing armor. They are snow white levels of pale for what you can see below their hoods. Like, they're very covered. They're sticking very much to the entrance to the alley, which is very dark. The man himself is wearing kind of simple, tailored clothes that are much tighter than on average in the city. And he's a bit of a shorter man, standing at about 5'5". And he just asked, "Your darkness, yes?"
yes.
Is there a reason why you were named that, or is that a self-given title? I'm just curious.
There is a reason. It's a cultural reason. I was born on a new moon, so darkness.
So nothing to do with your fur coverings.
No.
So, are you a cut to the chase kind of person, or a pleasant small talk kind of person?
I'm more of a cut to the chase kind of person.
All right. It has recently come to my attention that you and some of your companions have been meeting with an enemy of mine.
Okay.
Back, sorry.
It's all right. So, might I ask the nature of the arrangement that you have with your patron in this city?
Darkness is currently thinking. So is the player.
Yoda's money?
Yeah, basically, Yoda's money. That's about it. To my understanding.
Okay. So you have not entered into any arrangement with him for future work?
Would, out of character, would saying, hey, looking into the seventh house and the dragons and all that be considered future work, or just like whatever?
I mean, that would be the nature of the arrangement, that he did pay you extra money so he could pass on information and you guys would act accordingly with how you would act with that information. So it's not really hiring you for a job. It's, by the way, here's some information you may care about. And then you guys will go be murder hobos and do the murder hobo thing with said information.
Yeah! Alright, so back in character. Not that I'm aware of.
So, the information I got was not only did he, well, indeed, owe you money after having shifted some funds around to purchase your debt. Well, purchase the debt owed to you. Was he then withdrew an additional amount of funds to double that amount. And that, well, it seemed like you guys took the payment in full. Would that be accurate?
That sounds about right.
Sounds to me like he was hiring you for something.
No, not really.
Maybe he thinks we're just cool.
Yeah, maybe he thinks we're just like cool guys.
Yeah, he doesn't do things like that. He expects to at least be able to use you in some fashion in the future. Interesting. He looks at the gentleman with orcish ancestry that's still kind of standing near you. Maybe we should have tried to approach the halfling. And he goes, halflings are nothing but trouble. Never been anything but trouble. Can never tell which way they're thinking about anything at any given time. That's true. I've never met a tabaxi. He goes, I bet they're more regular than a halfling.
Not true.
You know, it might be true. You're just not.
Yeah, fair.
You fucking chaos gremlin.
But that's also just cats in general.
Well, so I understand that you had a instance where you had to fight a doppelganger that allowed you to receive this sum of money. Is that correct?
Oh, here come the assassins.
Might as well.
Alright, I gotta get going, everybody. I gotta be up at fucking 3 in the morning.
Alright, talk to you later, Scoot.
Have fun, everybody.
Did we lose a darkness?
We're gonna lose the darkness
Your
anyway.
guys dropped for a while.
I don't think it's us, hon.
Mitch, were you able to hear us?
It's probably me. let's be honest, this is probably.
Yeah.
I don't have my Ethernet cord here, so I can't plug directly in. So it's probably me.
He basically asked if you guys had to fight a doppelganger to get the reward.
No. We had to fight kobold sorcerers riding rust monsters.
You wish it was
Well,
that
we did.
easy.
Did we get the reward because we fought the doppelganger, or did we get the reward because we just?
It was through the events of the doppelganger, generalized terrorism in the town, and you guys did some stuff in the guild office and the caravan offices. Like, it was that adventure that earned you the money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yes, technically, but it was just because the doppelganger was being a terrorist, and not because.
Oh, they generally are.
Sent to... Fair.
They're a plague upon these lands. And almost every land that they come in contact with. Destabilizing everything they can find. I have reason to believe that your patron may be attempting to manipulate a war between us and the Eastern Empire, dealing with the Iron Duke. You know that name, yes?
What name?
The
Sorry.
Iron Duke.
Cut out. Yes, I do know that name.
All right, then. I take it you have no love for this individual?
No.
How much do you trust your patron? I mean, I understand he has dealings with doppelgangers, maybe even agents. If nothing else, assets.
A reasonable amount?
Well, you're an interesting one to deal with. I don't know quite what to say here next. I'll be honest on that one. You seem to almost have a disconnected way with reality.
I don't care much for
Reality.
reality, politics, and all that crap. I prefer more so to be one with nature.
Understandable. It's a big reason why we chose to meet here. Why choose to make sure that this little bit of nature stays in this city? You've no idea how expensive it is. But this isn't something that's approved of by various boards. So, money has to be paid to bribe people. And
I'm so sorry. The Wi-Fi here is crap.
well, that's fair.
So I did.
One of the reasons why I decided to meet you here in the garden, and it's a very expensive place to maintain, partially because it's not approved of by the board, and because of that we have to bribe people for this thing to even exist. So I can understand a love of nature. He looks at the guy with the greenish skin. I think this was a waste of time.
Hell yeah, wasting people's time.
I apologize for this. But you, sir, can rethink your approach. Good day. And he turns around, and the two pale mofos that are with him follow behind him. And the guy with the greenish skin, immediately once they're out of immediate view, goes, woof. Now, that didn't work out as I hoped. Sorry about that.
It was at least entertaining, wasting people's time.
Yeah, well... Let's get you back to that bar.
Yeah.
He takes you out, starts walking. Sorry for the way that guy approached things. He's a bit snooty.
Tell.
He thinks that everything revolves around the things he think are important.
As most snooty people do.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's gotta... When your attention is divided to so many pies, you can't really tell which ones are actually important. So all the ones you don't have your fingers in, you're just going to ignore. I could go for a pie. By the way, my name's Krieg.
Nice to meet you.
It's my self-appointed name. With this question about you and the darkness thing, I felt it was, somewhat entertaining. Choose to keep something that's slightly more orcish than humanish.
He's also the conductor of the poop train.
Hell yeah! Poop train!
Poop train! Yeah, no, he
Eat the
wanted...
fresh salt orange.
He wanted to approach you guys to see if he could help get you to work against your patron.
I figured that much. Was he a vampire by any chance?
Nope.
He seemed ghostly pale.
No, those would be the ones that are with him. He hires some vampires. They're
Interesting.
an asset, I suppose, for the ones that he has working for them. I don't trust him.
I wouldn't trust him either.
They're more of guardians of that particular little grove than anything else. I'm gonna say this though. I don't think your patron's a good guy.
Probably not.
Talking about snooty people that believe they know everything and want to control everything. And getting caught in his plans are a bad idea.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And you're doing it anyway. Is that because you expect your boredom to be ended by him betraying you?
Well, my home's getting attacked, so, and he has some information. Might as well see how long this lasts.
He takes you back to the bar. Well then. He holds out, it looks to be like a seed pod. Give me a perception.
19.
Okay. It looks to be a fairly innocuous-looking little seed pod. Kind of a larger thing. It's actually probably about the size of a golf ball. Not entirely sure offhand what kind of plant it would have been a part of. Yes, well, if you in any way, shape, or form feel that you want to try to act against your patron in any way, shape, or form, speak into this. Personally, I'd appreciate it if you didn't pass on to him that we even approached you, but that's part of the threat of talking to people. And, to be honest, if something does happen, I probably won't have a job for much longer for various reasons. But I wish you a good day.
The Wi-Fi is dumb.
What? Wi-Fi is dumb. He hands you the pod and basically says, if you ever decide to turn against him in any way, shape, or form, speak into the pod. Give us some kind of info. And if you... I'd prefer if you didn't pass on that that we talked to you, but that's part of the danger of the job. And I probably won't have a job if you do pass it on, though. And with that, he says goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
And he leaves. It's a question for you. Number one, are you keeping the pod? Or just discarding it?
I'll keep it to be on the safe side of things. But, yeah, I just stuff it in my pocket.
Question number two, are you going to be telling the group about it later?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll say we get to dinner on that evening. Dee-dee. Say Kundrik has even dragged himself out to the place, now that he has his quick walking boots.
He waddles faster.
He waddles much faster. He still waddles, but he waddles with speed.
With alacrity.
There we go. So the group is all there.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, I had an interesting day.
Oh, did you?
Do tell.
Kundrik mumbles
And I
something as he
told them
still got his
everything.
nose in a book. You tell them everything? Okay.
Yep.
So a man with vampires as bodyguards wants to know what the guy who's not actually our patron is doing. Yeah, that sounds like he probably is as evil as he says. Lord, whatever the fuck his name was.
Give me a second. Lord. Mitch usually remembers it before I have a chance to take a look at it. No, not Gmail.
Are you mean from the guy from House Teneth?
Yes. Lord Teneth.
Lord Teneth.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, vampires aren't exactly known to be real good things, but
Yeah, no.
to be fair, a lot of undead are very misunderstood. But, I don't know, vampires. It's not the best look for anybody.
No, the orc-looking dude, the green guy, gave me
Krieg.
a bold, yeah, gave me this real bold thing. So, if you want to look at it,
Kendrick looks at it. It's a real good question. Cast detect magic. Not minor magic. Means entirely possible to enchant with a message spell capability. It seems small and innocuous enough. For all we know, though, it's a secret listening device that can hear everything that we say anytime it's around.
So we smash it with a hammer and see what happens?
I just throw it in the fireplace.
Hell yeah, fire!
What do you say? Or what do you know? I know my audience.
Technically, I said for all I know, but...
You know what? Better safe than not.
Yeah.
We already got enough people listening in on what we do.
Alright, take the bulb thing, chuck it in the fire. Watch it burn.
It pops like a dry seed bulb, and it burns up. No problem.
Everyone dies. From the toxic gas.
Nice.
No toxic gases.
Oh, good.
But do we tell the dude from House to Neth about this? Or at least his butler.
Maybe next
Yeah,
time.
we probably should.
Maybe next time he sends us information.
Oh, by the way, your
Probably
enemies
already
attempted to
knows.
recruit us?
Yeah. It's probably for the best. I mean, do you want to be stuck here longer?
Man, I'm bored out of my fucking mind.
Kudra finishes up his food. Working as fast as I can.
I mean, yesterday I spent half the day staring at a hovel. It happened to be built 1,100 years ago.
That's an old building.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go back to research. Kudra leaves.
Eric,
Yeah.
tomorrow, you want to spar?
There's a thud on the table as he gets that erect. No.
Let me verify.
Flips over.
Do you mean spar as in with weapons, and that you want me to show you how to properly use weapons, or you use magic against me as I try to use weapons against you, or you turn
Do you want me
into
to
an
sword
animal?
splain something to you?
Do you want to explode? I was thinking I turn into an animal and you try defending against it. Maybe we can go into sort of combat and be using magic. I don't know.
Kidnap the donuts.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Now, question, is this a full roll battle? Like, is this just a, we flash forward as we have a cool test of strength as I try to wrestle your moose? Or is this a, you're actually gonna try and semi-kill me and I have to fight you again? Fight you back.
Hey, do you like Fireball? I'm pretty sure that's what she's inferring.
It would be,
I promise not to use any fire spells against Rorik. I will
you
only
can fully use
use
fire.
Nothing about lightning in there.
Yeah, nothing about lightning, but no fire spells.
The thing is, I don't want her wasting her fucking magic item on this. That's why
It recharges.
It recharges.
Wands aren't like the old wands.
It's got, what, 7 charges? And then,
It's got
like...
6 charges, and it
6.
recharges 1d6 every day.
Yeah, they're like the eternal ones.
Yeah.
But no.
So I'm going to do something weird. If you guys wish to do a knuckles out, drag out battle, complete with initiative and then rounds of action and attacks, feel free to type it into the Discord while I have an interesting thing, at least mildly hopefully maybe, with Solomon.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Alright?
Okay.
What'd I do?
Just type it out into the Discord, which I'm about to mute, so I'm not just hearing constant ding, 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 dings. Alright?
Okie dokie. Start with initiative.
Alright, and keep most of the combat talk into the Discord here for a moment. Oh, Solomon. The next day after that, you're wandering around town, doing your thing, looking at stuff.
That sewer grate's older than older than some places I've been to.
That sewer grate's actually older than my great-grandpa. That's impressive, because I'm pretty sure he's a bazillion years old. You're going through the city, the ins and outs of it. Like, you've taken in a lot of the major roads. Like, it's a big city, but it's not so large that you can't, through a couple days, wander through most of the main roads of the city. Including some side ones, which you're at this point are kind of going up and down kind of side roads. You start seeing a nice little area that seems to be more like what we would review to like cottages in the way that they're designed and built and things like that.
Uh-oh. Somebody keep Trogdor away from here. These are thatched roofed.
Burninating all the peasants. The thatch roof cottages! So, you get to an area where you're kind of going, you're looking, and it's very much old ass foundations with buildings built on top of it. Like for the most part, it looks like this entire area was probably cleared to build these new buildings on top of them. And you kind of turn left, you're looking down, turn right. You notice that you're in an area, there's no people around. And it's like a little open area that has like 3 houses kind of facing in towards like a little fountain. Not even to say like a full well, but it's like a little like pump handle, like water, like with a basin under it that can be used for water for a couple of the houses. A couple tight alleys going in between, but for the first time in the wild, as you get here, it's it's quiet. It's also the middle of the daytime and the sun's shining nice and brightly down and into the middle, so you're not like about to get vampire attacked.
Even if I was, I don't care. I'm not afraid.
And you notice something fairly odd. You've been paying special attention to the age of the buildings around you. The 3 buildings that are in front of you with doors, they could have been built yesterday. Small little details that you wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't been specifically looking at buildings. But these are no signs of age whatsoever to them. They have the look of being aged. But it's like an artist's depiction of something being old, not actually an old architectural building.
Well, I guess I'll wander around a little.
Okay.
I'm not just gonna like walk into a house that I don't own.
Oh, that's fine. You walking around, what, the 3 houses specifically that are part of that? You go around them. The one alley terminates just like into the back of a stone wall of another building. Like it's just end with like barely a sliver of space that you can look either direction.
It goes on forever.
And you get to the second one, exact same thing. Get to the end of the third thing with the other one, and it does lead on, but there's another back of a square building that goes almost directly to the back of that surprisingly new-looking cottage.
Well, that's unusual.
And as soon as you get out of that kind of central area, like the noise of the city just seems to hit even harder because it's just that quiet in that middle area.
Have I found a pocket dimension? Because that'd be neat. Well, I go back and go look in the well.
But like I said, it's like a basin that the water kind of fills in. It's got a little drain in the bottom, but it looks like the pump can probably put up more water than will go down the drain quickly, so it's could be filled to be used to wash something out or something along those lines.
Get myself a cup of water.
Okay.
Investigating is tiring work.
You pump the handle a couple times, and then you hear the waters, like you hear that actual like chunk, and then water comes out. And a fairly nice little splash. It took a second for the effect of the pump to actually pull the water in, but there it is. Yeah, the same kind of city water that you see most of the rest of the places. It's clean enough.
I'm gonna die of dysentery. This would be cool.
Probably not the best to be drinking from unless one has, purified it.
Or cholera. There we go. Let's get some cholera.
But to be fair, there's probably a fair amount of the city's runoff has gone into the water table. But as you've seen, the industry of boiling water seems to be a thing.
These are all like one-story cottages.
Yep. Even have a similar look of, probably at least designed by the same kind of person. Kind of 2 windows in the front. They're all shuttered in a particular case. Door in the middle of each of the windows.
I found a mimic colony. That's what I found. These are elder mimics.
Nom! Just gonna eat you.
Yeah, well, I touched the front door of one of them just to see if it sticks.
You successfully touched the front door. It does not stick. They're just smart mimics.
Or they're not hungry. I don't know. Weird. Suppose I could use an investigation or a perception. I mean, either one is pretty good.
I'm wondering how the battle is going.
Everyone's good.
Oh, I'm seeing rolls.
It's thinking, hold up.
You're good.
23 in an investigation.
Okay. Taking a look around, it's picturesque. It's a good way of putting it. Like standing in one point of the kind of opening area, looking in, you can see like this almost looks like someone attempted to draw and like put into place in the world. There's literally no signs of any kind of traffic or anything in this area, and it is still oddly quiet. But that could be some kind of like acoustics or something that has been set up in the area.
I will approach one of the doors and listen very hard.
Okay.
That's a horrible.
Yeah. It's a way to start that out.
That's a 21.
That is a 21.
It's half one.
Okay.
Ones are our bread and butter because we can roll those.
Eerily quiet.
Alright, I'll bite. I knock on one of the doors.
The center, the left, or the right?
Whichever one was closest to the exit to this place.
Technically, I mean, the one on the right at least has an alley to the side of it that you could dash down probably a little faster than getting back out the other way. Okay.
No, left. This area is the left.
Left. Okay. Door on the left. You knock on the door. You're met with the deafening sound of silence.
Well, I'll move on to the center.
Okay.
Knock on that door.
All right. I'll just go off the same basic roll because I'm lazy. You hear for a moment like the pitter patter of like a cat's feet, maybe. Like having jumped off something. And that kind of like gallop they do right afterwards, and then silence again because cats are quiet.
Animaguses. Were-jaguars.
Were-jaguars.
Were-tiger. I'm gonna beat him to death with a sock full of silver pieces. Well, I guess I go check the right door.
Okay. Knock on it. Sound of silence.
Well, I'm utterly curious, but I am not a thief.
You're right. You have stolen nothing.
Also, I've not broken into anybody's homes.
Blacksmith shops don't count?
That was not breaking in. That was tactically.
Oh, that was
assaulting.
very clearly breaking
That
in.
was tactically assaulting.
That was
Right.
tactically assaulting.
We were at war. They had my barbarian.
You know what? That's fair.
And I can't convince myself that these three houses have my barbarian. I don't see any markings. I don't see any traffic. I heard a cat. That's about as close as I got.
A completely curious, complete lack of any tracks.
No sewer entrances or anything like that around?
Nope. Well, there's a hole that's part of the drain that goes under the basin.
Yeah, it's too small for me.
Likely.
I'm assuming drain size hole.
Something big enough could probably squish you down into it.
Yeah, no. No, not that kind of squishy. I'm not trying to become a clog.
The halfling is thinking hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to consider if I want to actually try to be a menace or not. I mean, I'm trying not to get in trouble in this town so I can leave when I want to.
Fair.
Be a menace, be a menace, be a menace, be a menace.
Suppose unlike her, I can escape easier because I am who I am.
Incorrect. I could always turn into a rat.
Yeah, but they could track you still. Anyway, I go and open the front door to the middle house.
To the middle house?
At least
Alright.
I try to open the front door.
It opens up right away. Looking in, you see that it's one of those houses that has basically like a front room and a back room. Like you see a door that leads to the back behind it. Out in the area looks to be like a little table, a couple chairs, a couple beds off to the right hand side. This is the majority of the probably living area you're guessing for the house. It's got like a relatively vaulted ceiling that's going onto it, and you can actually see in the back room like there's a chimney that leads up to the back. Probably part of the kitchen.
Well, I enter in and make the mandatory noises.
All right. You head inside the house.
door slam shut.
You get like 2 or 3 steps in, and all of a sudden you find that your feet are stuck to the ground.
It's a mimic.
Roll some initiative.
13.
13?
Yep.
All right.
12. 12,
12.
sorry.
Okay. It is your turn.
Well, you know, if it is a mimic and it's this size, it means it's likely intelligent. So, as a, I guess my action is parlay.
Is that all you do?
Yeah, I don't try to stab it yet.
The door shuts. And there is a rippling effect that goes across kind of from the back. And like the wall to the back kind of folds forward. And everything inside the thing kind of smooths out to looking like a basic representation of what was in the room before, but not so sharp and easy to see. And at this point, there's a smell that also accompanies this ripple, as there's appears to be almost like a breathing effect.
How'd I guess that I was right? That this is an elder mimic colony, and the reason why I don't hear anything is because they ate everything in the area.
One of the the table itself at the side of the room kind of like shifts off the floor and kind of shuffles forward a little bit in your direction. It doesn't get too close. Roll me a sense motive.
You mean insight?
Insight.
12. 'Cause
12.
I have insight. No, 13. Sorry.
13. Okay. It's almost like stepping in has set up maybe a chain of events that are confused by the fact that there's no further movement happening. Maybe paranoia or life preservation in something.
It should be paranoid in life preservation, because even if it does eventually kill me, it's not going to like the food.
Or the fireballs afterwards.
Well, that's if they ever find out where I'm at.
They'll hunt you down. Come on now. They'll find a way.
I doubt it. I have very little faith.
Fair. You guys didn't hear that.
Well, we can do this one of two ways. This could roll out as it will naturally occur, and we could fight to the death. I cannot guarantee my own survival, but I also can guarantee you will not walk away from this unscathed. Or you could let me go, and we can go about this peacefully.
The table shifts roughly back to where it was before. There's another rippling rolling through the building from the front to back. And the wall itself raises back up again when it happens. And when it comes back up, the wall itself has words on it.
Oh, good. You write common.
Well, your helmet's at least translating it. If it isn't. Actually, I don't know if you have to study it to actually like get the language and you're looking at something.
Oh, I have to cast the spell, basically.
Ah, okay. But no.
It
Yeah,
effectively lets me cast the spell.
it's in common.
You say if it wasn't, I'll cast the spell.
You aren't here for the treasure?
I didn't even know there was a treasure. I just found a really interesting neighborhood and was wondering.
People are only ever here for the treasure. The words disappear into the wall and then kind of like repress outward.
Interesting. I didn't know there was a treasure.
We get to eat the treasure seekers.
Yeah. I'm assuming all 3 buildings.
And our children. One of the beds shifts a little bit.
I've read about these somewhere. This is neat.
What do you mean neat?
Interesting, fascinating, something worth knowing about. I've never met a mimic colony before. That's what people would call you.
The word pops up saying colony with a question mark at the end.
Well, I'm assuming there's probably at least a dozen of you here in some way, shape, or form. Including, I'm guessing, 3 elders.
Yes.
Yeah, colony. You're basically like a large family.
Yes.
So I'm not exactly sure how mimics propagate.
Propagate? Question mark.
Make babies.
We make them.
I don't care. I know how they do it.
Yeah, that's what it says is we make them.
Locke, or Solomon does not know how they make them. He barely knows what a mimic is, really. Because he's never actually dealt with one before.
Yes, he has. Darkness has one.
Well...
Baby mimic.
Not really. Dealt with, or, coddled. It's really...
Are you food?
Oh, definitely not. I come from a long line of people who are not food. Official title.
I don't know if we're allowed to eat you.
Do you have a master?
No.
Then why would you... Not that I want you to try to eat me, but why do you think you would not be allowed to unless somebody told you not to? Other than me.
We have been hired to protect the treasure.
So you work for somebody.
Yes. Generally, we eat for somebody and sit quietly until he delivers more food.
You know, I have some family members that would really love that very job. Just sit quietly and just eat. Probably not the same as you, but...
It is a good opportunity to make more.
Can I ask who hired you? I mean, if you don't want to answer it, that's fine.
The wall shifts to looking like a facsimile of what looks to be kind of a human. That 2 arms, 2 legs, looks humanoid. Can't really tell details.
Well, it's definitely not a spellweaver.
Yeah, it's definitely not a spellweaver.
Or a Nothic. It's probably not a goblet either, because it's not hunchbacked and big-headed. So you don't know a name. Okay, that's fine.
Name?
Yeah, what people call themselves. Like, I'm Solomon.
Words pop up. You use sounds.
I mean, I understand all kinds of things. I've gone to the point of understanding hand gestures at this point.
We use vibrations.
Alright, give me a shot. Let me see what this looks like. I cast Comprehend Languages.
It vibrates, and you're guessing that it was telling you its name, which is a certain vibration tone. Like saying it's identifying itself as this vibration effect.
Torque. Construction noise.
Yeah. Somewhere between the creaking of wood and, I don't know, water droplets happening.
Alright. Pleasure to meet you, creaking of wood, water droplets. But see, because I have comprehend languages, it comes out in their tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
I'm suddenly very fluent in Mimic.
Well... Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's going to start just vibrating you instead of creating images. And I'm going to translate to the best of your ability to understand, because I know that's how the helmet would work, is these guys use more abstract images than they do the way people think and know things.
Squish. Squish.
No, squish my head.
Squish.
Can I see your head?
Squish. Squish.
But it proceeds to basically tell you that, yes, we're hired to protect the treasure. It gives us a chance to bud and create more of our kind, which are then, when they reach of age, are transported out of the city as a part of the deal. And we got the treasure for the individual of magic.
Neat. We have a mimic in our house. He is small.
Why?
We found him hiding in a bandit cave. He was tiny. No bigger than, say, like my forearm. He tried to eat my hand.
Lonely child.
He is well fed. Do not worry. He gets ham every day. Large ham. He's probably chasing the thief that feeds him regularly. When they get back there, Jobei's gonna be dead. Eaten by the mimic.
Ham is good. Chicken is better.
I won't get into the argument of the proprietary.
The feathers have a fantastic texture.
Oh, see, I don't eat the feathers. I'm not built to digest those.
Feathers absorb nicely.
Well, maybe if I swing by here one of these days, I'll throw some chickens your way.
Still trying to figure out if I should eat you anyway. Because I may have told you there's treasure here, thinking that you already knew there was treasure here. Because everybody that comes here is looking for the treasure.
Well, that sounds kind of suicidal.
I believe the magic man spread rumors specifically to entrap Greedy.
Oh.
No, hungry is what comes across.
Neat. Yeah, no, I don't want your treasure. I'd love to meet the guy who hired you. Just to ask him about it, but, you know. That's the long and short of that.
You can tell it's speaking to probably one of its own kind, and on a bookshelf off to the side that you couldn't see from the door because it's there. It's a little thing is roughly in the shape of a bell. Like I said, everything in the room kind of morphed a little bit when you walked in, and things happen. It goes back to looking like a bell, and it dings. First thing you notice is underneath one of the beds, a cat comes out, jumps up to the bookshelf, paws at the bell.
That's not a mimic.
It is not a mimic. It's a living thing. Living normal thing.
Interesting. So you don't eat the cat?
The cat looks at you. Of course they don't eat me.
Talking cat.
Do you think a normal cat would be living on the inside of a mimic?
20 minutes ago I didn't know it was a mimic.
But you know that now.
Yeah, I know. And yes, no, there might be a normal cat. They might like you. I don't know.
I don't think mimics keep pets.
I don't know.
So seriously, why are you here?
Quite literally, was wandering around looking at architecture, and I came to this place that made no sense.
Architecture?
Yeah, I'm an archaeologist. I like old things. And these houses look old, but are also...
Let them out. It'll taste like a book.
Also horribly brand new.
Your feet are able to free themselves.
Yay, feet.
The cat goes over the door. Open it. It's looking at you.
Oh, we open the door.
Just don't close it all the way. I hate a closed door.
I look at the mimic inside. It was a pleasure.
If you
Step outside.
get outside.
Now I feel I need to get like 200 chickens.
The the three houses kind of look at each other with their windows almost like eyes. You are a special creature. You know that?
I've been called such by my mother.
Mothers.
Most people have them.
I suppose there's some that don't. That would make sense. Even mimics have mothers. Fathers. Mothers. Progenitors. Good enough for mother for me. But I'm a cat.
Like, are you actually a cat?
Mm-hmm. Yes. One of amazing ability, talent, majesty, and greatness.
Well, your lordship, what is your name?
Finally, somebody gives me the respect I deserve.
There's a cat in Baldur's Gate 3 that if you treat him like he's a lord, you get something from him.
I am Mr. Cole.
Black cat.
Gray cat.
Well, Mr. Cole, it's a pleasure.
Lord Mr. Cole, thank you very much.
My apologies, my lord.
No half measures here. You're not allowed to start up the pretenses and then abandon them out of nowhere.
I beg your forgiveness, your eminence, for my disregard to your grand titles. Lord Mr. Cole.
I accept this. Yeah, no, I've been magically enchanted. I am a cat that can speak and think more than I could before. I mean, a cat's thoughts are very complex. It's just hard to put to word to. I almost feel like I've been slowed down to be able to speak this language.
No comment.
Regal sitting there, cat.
Who's a good kitty? You may pet my stomach once.
Yeah.
If you pet it anymore, I will claw the shit out of you.
Seriously, you didn't know about the treasure?
No.
You were here looking at buildings?
Yeah.
Who looks at buildings?
Me.
Oh, such a dog. Alright. No offense.
None taken.
I apologize for that horrific slur.
It's okay.
Well, apparently you've uncovered a slight flaw in the trap. They're not even guarding the treasure. The rumor is the treasure's here.
Smart. Just in case somebody actually came to feed a mimic colony.
Suppose
I didn't know if I could, but I sure the hell wasn't going to let them try to eat me.
We're getting ready to.
Oh, well, it would have been unfriendly for everyone involved. Because even though I may have been immobilized, I could still attack them.
Yes, you could. And I was expecting it. Let me close these 3 windows, by the way. Well.
I wonder if I could take on a mimic colony.
And you want to talk to my servant?
I mean, I'd be interested to know details about this. Like I said, I don't care about the treasure.
Oh, my servant is one of those wizard types.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those running around in my group too.
Do they make sure that you're well fed on time?
You know, they don't. I should punish them for that.
I can agree with that. Well,
If you weren't already working with somebody, having servants of your own, I would have offered you my services.
I could always accept another servant.
Problem is, I travel a lot.
Ah. Well, if we're willing to wait a little bit, it should be about feeding time then.
Wagon full of chickens. Interesting.
No, my feeding time, not theirs. You know, mimics don't have to eat a whole lot.
No, I did not know that.
In fact, I'm fairly certain that my servant only feeds them enough so that they can maybe bud a little bit. A lot less for him to transport outside of town.
I wonder if that's how the baby mimic got loose.
Don't know. They're pretty useless when they're that tiny.
Yeah. Gave me a little nip on my finger. It was a tiny little coffer. Now he's probably the size of a beer keg. But we do keep feeding him an awful lot of ham. I'm pretty sure he's overweight now.
That is just a humorous idea. A fat beer keg.
Be the easiest thing to hide as in our house.
A lot of drinkers there.
Several, yes.
I feel it's been late enough. It starts meowing. It's really loud in the sound of the silence. It is loud meowing.
I feel like I should be pulling food out for him.
A little bit later, a guy starts coming down the alley that's by the building. It's not even your feeding. Oh, there's a small. Nope, that's a halfling.
Yes.
You see it. Probably 40-year-old man standing there. He's got some basic workers' clothes going on, but he also happens to be wearing a skull cap that almost kind of like, had some like sigils in it and stuff like that. Still gives him a bit of a magical appearance.
Well, as long as he's not wearing
Nothing
red
else.
robes with a hat that says wizard.
No, it does not say wizard. What are you... He looks down at the cat. What did you do, Mr. Cole? Ah, someone addresses me properly. Lord Mr. Cole. He throws a fish. The cat goes chasing after it. Scampering a little bit on the stones there.
Well, humorously enough, I was just looking at buildings and happened to come upon a very strange place. And then the house tried to eat me.
Well, it's supposed to do that. They're, in fact, supposed to eat invaders.
Yeah, well, I talked it out of it, so...
Well, apparently, and enough that you brought my idiot cat out. He's supposed to be lounging and minding his business.
You hear, no, little finger.
Oh, dang cat. I'm amazed he's not orange sometimes.
We had an orange cat at our house. He was a menace.
Alright, who are you?
My name's Solomon.
And what is your trade that you were looking at building so hard?
I'm an archaeologist.
Old city everywhere. You had to have been wandering. This is one of probably the least remarkable sections of the city
I don't know,
for
this
that.
is like day 4 or 5. I've hit all the main streets. I'm on the side streets now.
And I know that the base street, like that fountain is ancient.
Yeah. And those look old, but they're not.
So,
They're almost like an artist's rendition of old.
I mean, mimics are intelligent and all, but if you really want them to be something, you show them what that thing is. And I didn't want them to be copies of houses outside, so I had an artist draw. Like he goes off to the edge of the alley at one point, and tells you to come here. That. And they're doing that.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Archaeologist.
So you convince the mimic colony to protect a treasure that's not actually here.
Mr. Cole! Eating! Why? Wait, he's...
Oh, I don't care. At this point, I think I'm more entertained by the conversation than anything else. So you're a wizard?
Yes.
Do you have any specialties other than convincing mimics to do things and making talking cats?
I mean, I'm a transmuter by trade.
Fascinating. I have a friend who's a necromancer.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I
really.
think it's
more,
dubious who your friends are.
What really is more unfortunate is he has a condition due to a wild magic. He's currently
Okay.
a dwarf who looks like a tree.
A dwarf who looks like a tree. Well, I'm the mage Whitley. Make your deal. You help me figure out how to make this look more authentically old, and I will take a look at your friend.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to accidentally happen.
Okay.
Because this is almost embarrassing.
Well, you don't have to worry about the inside, because, I mean, it's not like anybody's going to be able to tell you from the inside.
Well, no, that's true. The inside can be septic. I have yet to have any complaints about the inside looks like, but that's where they keep most of their kids.
Yeah, it was funny.
Because generally, they let their kids attempt to eat first, and then if something's tough enough, they swallow.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try to figure out how it was gonna happen. I just figured if it was gonna do it, it wasn't gonna end poorly for anybody.
Oh, pulverization and then absorption.
Luckily, I come from a long line of people who have the title of not food. Give it to them by a grell.
No idea what that is.
Yeah, it's a beaked brain with tentacles. It floats around. It's very creepy. I've only seen pictures of them though.
So, I came across those two when they were younger. They were, hey Kevin, doing their mimic thing. One of them was due to it. There was an unexplained murder that happened, and disappearance, and yeah, I found them and was able to, communicate with them in some rudimentary ways, and got them to agree to this particular deal. I don't know. There's something about the mimic that makes them even more, conscious to the concept of guarding a wizard's treasure. Probably having something to do with their creation. I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't know where the third one came from. It just showed up one day. And then as time went on, we had to evolve the trap. Because they're too big. I feed them. They're generally happy. I try to keep the population numbers under control. Yeah, they get let outside the city.
That's what I heard. We have a, well, it's still probably a baby, but it's probably overweight now. Mimic in our house.
You don't got to worry about overfeeding the babies. Feeding means more activity, not really more growth.
Yeah, this one was eating whole hams.
So anytime someone's not looking, it's probably running around trying to assume whatever shapes it can. It'll probably eventually be very good at mimicking things.
Yeah, I just have to be really good at spotting. It likes to mimic beer bottles.
You have an abundance of those around, don't you?
Yeah, I've got drunks in my house.
Well, it might be because it thinks it's a great place to hide from you.
Maybe.
Because most mimics that age, you're a much bigger thing. They probably think of you as a play toy more than food.
Maybe. Alright, let me see if I can fix your friends here.
Roll me an archaeological check. This is knowledge, history, and
That works. That's a nat 20.
all right. Well, he sits and he begins talking to the houses. He puts his hand up to one
I talked to
and starts going, yeah, okay.
Buzz, 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 buzz. Construction noise. Beep, beep, beep.
After a little bit, as long as they don't move around too much, they should maintain, or at least if they'll go back to exactly the way they were, the particular...
That's right. More wrinkles. Yes, yes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. A little bit of chipping there. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect, perfect. Strut it.
Stress points that actually look like they're there for a reason, not someone going, it looks like a stress point. It looked good here.
I'm Edna moding. They're my Jack.
And like an hour later, you guys, finish up.
Fabulous. No capes.
So that should keep any additional sages from getting in trouble here.
Unless they're really better than I am. Which I've never actually met one that's better than me, and I have literally had an argument with a sage. And a godlike elf, but that's a different story.
I'll probably figure out a series of conditions for them to find a way to ignore certain people. I don't know. As far as I can tell, to be honest, you're the first person that's come in that wasn't there for the treasure. I'm not going to say it's a perfect system.
So what is the treasure? I'm just curious. Or is it just generic treasure?
It might be generic wizard's treasure. Things beyond wealth. Rings of wishes. Genies. A possible gem to...
I don't even have to roll insight.
that can resurrect loved ones and all kinds of stuff. Anything that might draw in
the Elder Wand, the Cloak of Invisibility to hide from death.
Yeah, and anything to help draw in the kind of stupid thieves who would want to try to rob a wizard. Would prefer to have less of those in the city in general.
Oh,
It's a public service as much as anything else.
This is a preemptive thing.
Yeah. I mean, I have treasures. I'm a wizard worth his salt.
I thought there was just like a specific treasure that they were trying to guard. But if it's just generic, we're preemptively eating treasure hunters because they're being annoying, then they deserve to be eaten by the house.
I hope that most of them aren't treasure hunters in the sense of people that will go out to look for legendary treasures.
If
like
they're
this
looking
is
for legendary treasures in a wizard's
that's
house.
yeah, exactly.
They're not what you think they are.
We're looking for someone who's here for breaking and entering, and that we don't approve of.
I mean, I didn't really break and enter. Just on a side note, I opened the front door.
And the temple, exactly. You're supposed to walk in.
You may want to have them act like the door's locked. It really makes it seem more realistic. Even if
Kind of goes against the layer of it, which is this is all an illusionary covering over the reality that's on like the inside.
Alright, well, that was my advice. That's it. You want to come and visit my friend? Because he's probably not going to want to leave his book. He's currently trying to figure out teleportation circle.
No, friend is decently worth his salt as well. Might even be good enough to see if he wants to join the association.
Man.
Of all the things, it's got to be Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? These things happen on Tuesday.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday? Thursdays are no good either.
I find Mondays to be terrible.
Mondays are obviously terrible. I have a cat.
And Sundays aren't nearly long enough.
All right, Mr. Cole, you gonna be good? I'll keep an eye on things.
I pull a ham sandwich out of my bag.
I've communicated with... I'm sure the cat will at least steal the meat out of the ham sandwich.
Good enough. I toss the rest at the mimic house. Open wide!
Plumps against the wall.
Yeah, it'll eat it eventually.
Quite possibly.
A little pseudopod.
Yep, let's go check out your friend. All right. It's time for us to revisit the combat.
Oh, Lord.
Are you guys still fighting?
I think she just won.
She just won?
We're bear wrestling and I'm a bear.
Yes and no. So we started with straight combat, and I rolled a nat 20, and I had a brutal critical, so I just, that went fast. So we said, let's just bear wrestle, and she actually beat me in strength.
Impressive. Where did you do this, by the way?
It's in the game info.
Game info.
Yeah, no, no. Where
The
did you guys do
location.
the actual location? Just
Probably out in the street.
Yeah.
That sounds like that. They would blatantly disregard human safety.
by the posh inn or somewhere else?
Probably not we should probably not do the fancy inn. But
I'm not there to
wrestling
stop
a
you
bear
guys,
in the
just tell
street as a street
We
performance. It
could
would be
probably go to that sleazy, like wrestling outside that sleazy bar.
Go to the Vampire Hunters bar to go have this competition?
fuck yeah.
All right. So shortly after you guys start, a collection of people come piling out of the bar, and in various states of inebriation, and some in various states of dress. And they start hooting and hollering as you guys are going. And when all is said and done, one of the guys comes over and hands you guys 75 gold. Thanks for the entertainment.
Hell yeah.
Change back into normal darkness. Anytime.
done, so you can have it.
How much was it Drew cut out? I am so sorry,
75 gold.
guys. 75 gold. All right.
He cut out for me too, so that's okay.
We are cutting out? Yeah. Excellent addition
Very
connection.
occasionally.
Anyway. It may just be the microphone. So anywho.
True.
One of the people that you've seen behind the bar work. He doesn't so much work there as he stands there menacingly.
Who's standing there menacingly?
A guy that's there with work and darkness. Interesting show you put on there. He points at where I've seen you hanging out the past couple days. And then you guys decide to have a wrestling contest outside my establishment.
We were just having some fun. I was really more here just, whenever I'm here, I'm just going
Sure
to
you
the
just
place
couldn't
where it's
barely
the most
control
martial
yourself?
prowess is.
Did I cut out for that, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
He says in the middle of you talking, he's like, sure you couldn't just barely control yourself? I wasn't listening to most of that. I was too busy trying to make the joke.
You're good. He mostly was just trying to hang out around people who seemed to have the most martial prowess in the place,
Well,
in the city that he could find.
we got a lot of morons around here. And a fair amount of meatheads. And a couple effective fighters. This is the unofficial Vampire Hunters hangout.
Interesting. I say as if I didn't know. Vampire hunters, huh?
Yep,
Is it that bad?
bad enough. Especially when one of the older ones comes around. Quieter times when that happens. None of the older ones have shown up for a while. But the younger ones are still occasionally doing things, let alone their spawn. People of talent like you guys around, you ever think of taking up a profession?
Never thought about it before. Have you thought about it before or looked at darkness?
No, not really. But
Well,
if we're in town, I don't see a problem with it. Provided it's sanctioned by the town and not like
Illegal.
illegal.
so about that,
Oh, come on.
it's not really sanctioned, but at times people look the other way. Like times like now, where there's, less actual danger running around. Most of the vampires we have to actually go hunt specifically, find their homes and things like that because they're being quiet. We can get in more trouble, but anytime one of the older ones...
I would assume vampires are usually not good to have around a city.
Nope, they are not good to have around the city. And by the way, guys, I actually think that it is my microphone. I've been watching the Discord channel, and even in the middle of me speaking, it's occasionally blipping off of green.
Yeah, it'll just suddenly drop.
Yeah. Dang it, Drew. We gotta get you a new microphone. Anyway.
I think I just need a new cord, honestly, but because the cord's limp. You won't hear me say anything about myself as limp very often.
Except for everything about him's limp.
Only my wrist. Anyway, the guy goes, yeah, it's the vampires are bad. I don't know why the city hasn't officially attempted to do away with them. I've got theories. Some people have wilder theories. Regardless, they're here, they're a problem. Right now, they're not a big problem. Which also means that most of us around have been around for a little while, and we're specifically trying to hunt where the old ones are, where they live. We can't find it. The catacombs under the city are expansive, to say the least.
So you would have to be underground a lot.
When we're hunting for them, yes. When it gets to be their active times, or at least even, okay. Dear God. We basically have encountered 4 tiers of vampires. The ancient ones, the old ones, the young ones, and their spawn. The ancient ones, when they wake up, there's a lot of problems. Like, the city has issues. We lose a ton of hunters. Everything is bad. When just an old one pops up, you know, like, we go on hunts and things like that. We fight them up here in the streets, and usually the guards look the other way. And my mic is being stupid, I think. According to this, it's not going green. Can you guys hear me? I will take that as a no. All right.
It went out real bad.
Yeah, give me a second.
It was so bad.
I just watched it. What we're going to do here real quick is I'm going to try to switch to the actual microphone from the computer itself and see if that makes a difference. Voice and video input. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, that is crunchy, but yes.
Crunchy.
It's crunchy in sound quality, not crunchy in like it's cutting in and out.
All right. Let's go back to this and let me try something real quick. I'm going to be quiet for a moment. Let's get this so this isn't laying on any other wires. And get that plugged in. And this. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of good quality?
Yes.
I think so.
Let's hope this continues. All right. Anyway. But yeah. So there's clearly a problem that we would love to actually go down, hunt them, and find them. The problem is that even when the ancient ones are asleep, some of the old ones are guarding them, and they're tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
Yeah.
There's been more than once that we've sent down our most seasoned hunters, and they never came back. Well, one of them... Yeah, there was an experience where one of them came back. It wasn't as a... Yeah, it was a vampire.
Ta-da!
I assume that you are coming to speak with us because you have a request.
I was
So,
wondering
as
if you...
I've been told recently, assuming makes an ass out of me.
I don't know.
You and me.
I'm looking to see if you were interested in taking up the profession of vampire hunters.
with our companions who we had business with something else. The business isn't entirely completed, though I don't know. How many days have we been here?
At this point, you're on day 5.
Okay. So the only issue is that I would need help. We would need to verify with the rest of our companions whether or not they'd want to do that to aid us, or B, we'd only really be in town for like 2 more days, and I don't know how much we can accomplish in that amount of time.
Ah. Well, it's worth a try. I don't got anything else for that. I mean, it was worth a try to recruit you. I don't think I have anything that can pull you in. Like, we got some guys that do some good work for us, and whether it's making, equipment, other things. We've got a couple deals with some of the wizards in town to help us get equipment. Unofficial contacts within the city, and we also don't care much for anybody's race, although I know you're probably not having too bad a time in this city. He winks at Darkness.
Okay, you cut out. I'm so sorry.
It did not cut out on my Discord that time. It showed me talking the whole time. Damn it.
That's weird because I only heard half of it also.
He says they have access to a lot of equipment and other things, almost in an attempt to try to draw you in a little more, and it's cutting out. Alright, screw this.
Why don't we just end game? Because it's 10 o'clock.
Crunchy audio can be. I mean, we're not. I don't know.
We're not
I don't
done
think
yet.
we can help him, but with it, and even if we do, I'd run it past Solomon first.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I run it past Solomon and Kundrik.
So we can always.
We're not the brains of the party.
Yes, if he's offering money and equipment for this kind of work, and I know Solomon likes going spelunking, so he may see what he can do within the next 2 days while we're waiting for Kundrik to be done. But but we can run it past them, or we can just skip the next 2 days. It'll be up to him. I don't know what shenanigans he's been getting into.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
who knows?
then in that particular case, the guy, you guys leave the conversation with a maybe, we'll see.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, to kind of put a speed on this, because I may end up the stream here shortly, and just end game, because microphone issues, or fuck that. The guy comes to take a look at Kundrik. Kundrik is very sour with him, but he takes a look at him and goes, I don't think I have the ability to handle that. This is, woof. Like, I didn't even know wild magic was a thing. In reality, apparently it is, and it's more powerful than me.
Oh, you know.
You might want to see someone that can do divine magic, but I'm just going to say the priests in this town usually aren't that good. They might have some out east, but those priests are most likely going to not like you because you cast magic. And with that, you guys can get together for that evening and propose, hey, do we want to hunt vampires while we're here, or not? So, in all honesty, Darkness and Rurik, do you guys actually want to go hunting vampires for the last couple days that you're here? Kundrik's going to be stuck in the library.
I know, but it, gives us some, it's not that it gives us something to do, but it's really more it gives us something to help somebody out with.
Okay.
And that's kind of what we're good for.
We're really good at going down into places and murdering things.
Let me put this in a more specific way. This is an adventure thread that you guys may choose to pull on, if you so desire. It's not gonna be. I mean, unless you guys literally are like, we just do some basic hunting and we try to hunt down like a vampire. If you're gonna actually try to move towards this in any way, shape, or form, it's going to take like more than like a day. Or do your characters want to get back?
I would assume we try and do this until around the time Kundrik might be done.
Well, Solomon, your opinions on it?
I don't want to go hunting vampires.
Okay.
It
that
requires a
sounds like we are
skill
not
set
hunting
you guys
vampires.
aren't ready for.
Totally understand. Also, don't want to piss off like an elder vampire and then leave. And now we have to deal with vampires and dragons.
You guys meddled just enough to wake up one of the ancient vampires.
And then we have an ancient vampire dragon.
Knowing our luck, that would happen, though.
Yay, vampire dragons.
No.
Yay, vampire mind flare dragons.
Oh, that's even more terrifying.
I'm not sure all of those can combine logically.
It's a Cthulhu vampire dragon.
So you're saying like a dragon that got implanted with a mind flare, and then after it turned, it then got turned into a vampire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts my brain.
I want to point out something. The Mind Flayer dragon thing is a thing.
I know it is a thing.
I don't know if they can
Yes,
become
it is.
vampires.
I don't, yeah, I don't know if they can actually become vampires. There may be some woogity that's just like, nope, does not compute. Because it's D&D. Occasionally the woogity does not compute.
Yeah, it's like you can't be a vampire and a werewolf at the same time.
Well, if that's the case, then after a couple more days, Kundrik begrudgingly leaves the library and says that he has the ability to teleport people around. Now I need to exactly check and see how the teleportation works. Like, can he send the cart and everything along with it or not?
That's a great question.
I suppose if someone's holding the cart above their head, that would be considered equipment.
That's what work and darkness are for.
Well, I mean, someone just got a belt of giant strength, but still lost to a bear.
It was, so to be fair, it was not just I straight lost. We went back and forth. She won, I won, she won, I won for a while. It's just she was the first to win 2 consecutive.
Okay.
What I'm hearing is you lost.
That's true. That's true.
Right. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So, just double check. He does need to use his scroll. No, it does not. Okay, cool. Any creature that enters the portal instantly appears within 5 feet of the destination circle, the nearest occupant space. That space is occupied. 10-foot diameter circle with the portal in the middle. Fuck it. I'll allow it. Now, I've got a list of the teleportation circles that he has studied. One is in the mountain range area, the wall area by the stone giant. One is at the that thing that claimed to be the Rust King's lab underneath it, kind of outside the city. One is in the Undercave city. And another one is way up north in the ruins near where the giant ass snake was.
There's a lot of magic circles. Holy shit.
Well, the Mongrel Man's magic circle was pretty easy because he used it to send you guys.
That's true.
Yeah, that would also probably be the closest to where we're going.
Except for we can't take a wagon with us.
The easiest would be where the stone giant was, and that was on the city region. It wasn't in the walls. That city region above. It was like on top of one of the buildings was the circle, and that's where he kind of poofed you off to.
Right, yeah.
And that's at least close enough that you can get to the southern towns and then just travel up the road again. All right, shut up, Lord British. So yeah, that sound like a good plan by the stone giant?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And we're gonna end game as you guys exit on top of a building. Did you guys have fun?
When I could hear you? Yes.
Yep, real sorry about that. I'm gonna see what I can do about getting that fixed. I haven't had any problems that I can tell, like anytime I've been on stream or anything like that. Oh, good night, Rosalie. I missed that. But it may be because I moved my microphone for the first time in a while. It's been chilling in the same spot on my desk. So I think it may be a wire issue because it's been kind of like falling out of the microphone and yeah. Anywho, do you have fun over there? You almost fought a mimic?
Did not.
Yeah, a couple mimics.
I did not almost fight a mimic.
That's fair. Alright. Well, on that note, I'm going to end off the stream. Thank you everybody who's come by. Thank you everybody who's watching.
Bye.
If the various Swedish people got around to watching this on Sunday, be awesome. I hope you enjoyed. And we'll talk to everybody later. Well, off of stream, no one has to necessarily leave that. But going on the end screen now. And where is it?
Balls.
Yeah, I'm looking for the end screen.
Dang
Nope,
it!
I
that
just
was
missed
way
it.
too early.
You were way too early. Now it's actually on the end screen, so you can feel free to say balls.
Balls, 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 balls.